Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest. I am Joe Treff, your GM this evening, and joining me are my friends, Matt, Vincent, Tina. Oh, it threw me off. Sable, Hannah, and Alana. We are missing Kara tonight, but Kara may be in the chat, and hopefully we'll be seeing Kara in a little bit. Hello, Talon. We are going to play some D&D tonight, but before we do, a couple of quick announcements. First of all, we have a YouTube, an Instagram, a Threads, a Blue Sky. All of those are at Alberon RPG. We actually have a Patreon now, where you can go and see some behind-the-scenes content. On all of those different things, you can see different pictures and things of what comes up on our table. You can see it a little bit here, but you can see it in much greater detail
at Alberon RPG.
If we take pictures
Oh.
at Alberon RPG. That is the Instagram. Last night we played Starfinder, which we play every Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This group traversed through a very dangerous part of the urban sprawls of Aphrodite and made it through with very high level of success. Only a couple failures along the way. And you can see that when it re-airs on Sunday.
Go through the cycles of faces.
Next Sunday, we are playing Iron and Thorns Session 4, which is, I believe, the finale of our Cypher System game. That is run by Kara. It is a phenomenal system that is using the Old Gods of Appalachia rule set. We recently re-met a gentleman named Everett, who is just a little larger than he was the last time that we found him. But he's a peach and helped us along just fine. And everything is going great. And we found our friend, and we are going to be trying to find the rest of our friends a week from Sunday.
The real friends we made along was the Greek.
Yes.
Correct.
And the cabin.
Yeah.
We are also next month going to have a whole bunch of different things that are coming up. We have Wheel of the Year one-shots. We have Alberon After Dark, the very first of these Patreon-only ones that have some content that is not suitable for air, necessarily. There's a little bit of drinking. There's some other stuff that is going to be the Deadly Sins one-shot. We are also going to be having the epilogue one-shot from our first campaign, Greater Than Greed. That is a level 18 D&D one-shot that is set in Calypso, so we're very excited for that. And if you want to see more of the announcements, they're over on YouTube, The State of Alberon 2025. That is all the announcements that I have, aside from the fact that we have both Sirenscape and Monument Studios to thank for music. And so it is time for this week's session of Courts of Everest. All right, Matt, to you for the recap.
Wandering Hearts. When last we played, the party found ourselves still within the Shattered Spheres, a temple deep in the lair of a Madam of Dark Reflections, an archfey who had taken up residence in this ancient interstitial space between the planes. As we continued into one of 6 sealed areas held within mirrors, containing a guardian that we know we will eventually need to face, the party found themselves in the lair of the Electrophosphorus angler, a subaquatic species that emitted some electrical currents underneath the water, and had made its den near the mirror which we needed to set to unlock this one seal. Also within the area was a caged Triton, who the party would soon learn was a Triton named Hala. But before that happened, Ori set off to try and sneak up and set the mirror aright. After luring the creature away, the Amber Sworn guard that was accompanying the group basically just fucked all went in, ruining the element of surprise and setting the anglerfish upon them.
But really fitting into your strategy as a group overall.
Yes, which also led the creature
Glad you
away,
had a valid
allowing
stand-in.
Ori to
Looked like magic.
set the mirror right while lobbing fire with daggers. Meanwhile, the rest of the party dealt with the anglerfish, primarily Minka, after benevolently helping Cheshire with some magic that did not end up panning out, which also led to Minka pretty much tanking for a bit until the aforementioned Triton, Hala, burst out of her mirrored trap on a shark, coming in, furiously attacking the anglerfish after being released from her reflective prison. After slaying the beast and setting out the mirror, the group retreated out of the area into the chamber that held the rest of the seals. As they continued to the next one, finding a bit more about Hala, she did not remember much before her trap, being stuck in the mirror for an unknown amount of time. The party found themselves in front of the next space. But Cheshire, disappointed, I guess, that... it's moving. Disappointed that Ori did not appreciate...
No. Ori was picking a fight.
Ori was picking a fight. Cast silence on the group, which did not allow Ori to relay the information to Billy, who grew impatient, that there was a trap upon the door, which Billy continued to open. Said trap was set off, which ignited a series of horrible caustic reactions behind the door after Billy sealed it and pushed both herself and Ori away, which led to a bit of an argument, but they patched things up pretty quickly, and continued on to the next door, since that one was going to be difficult for the next 3 to 4 hours.
Can I say also, from a DM perspective, like, you would... in a group, I bet, like, I couldn't get somebody to pay me $5 on a bet. Like, I bet you couldn't lure people into an oven. and like,
Matt went willingly.
Yeah.
I didn't go willingly.
No, it wasn't really Matt that went willingly.
No.
It was really Billy.
It was Billy.
Oh, it was Billy.
It was Billy. Anyway, the party continued to the next area. Looking in, Ori saw that there was a strange illusion over the room. What looked like a large chasm before the door opposite was actually a single mushroom in the center of a room. Seeing through the illusion, Ori alerted the rest of the party, who all processed it differently. Their newfound companion, Hala, deciding to try to eat the dirt.
It looked like food. It's not. It's.
However, we passed through the illusion and found ourselves in a sort of labyrinth, remnants of a Formian puzzle. Formians being a species of giant from years gone by. Evil, underdark, corrupted species of giant. There were many puzzles and gravity traps that we passed through with varying degrees of success, until we found ourselves at the end of a hallway, and Billy, noticing something smelt off, crept forward, past a riddle-locked door, and found herself face to face with the face of a hall. But it was actually the fact that we were all within a mimic the entire time. And as the mimic changed the hallways that we found ourselves in, which are probably its intestines or something, Billy fades out of view, and the rest of us are caught in a hallway that we now know is part of a mimic.
This is fine.
And it is here that we begin. Fantastic. Thank you.
Matt.
Change that here a little bit. Okay. So first, in this moment, as all of you kind of see the halls begin to shift, you lose sight of Billy, who kind of turns, and in that moment, Alina, already feeling as if you've sort of let people down, you just lose sight of Billy as the hallway shifts. And you feel the walls begin to rumble. You can see the crates and barrels begin to kind of shift and move around weirdly, as if they are almost crawling along thousands of tiny legs in this space. But as they shift, there is a stop of movement, or you can see there is stuff that you can kind of access in front of you. For the rest of you, there is more movement or more space around and to your left, hallways. And you can hear through the echo of the space still Billy calling out to all of you. In this moment, all of you who are on that tile, with the exception of Euthelius, who you guys have amassed quite a party, so I'm going to have Euthelius just get separated into a room for now.
He's like, oh,
He's in
no.
timeout.
He's just over.
Yeah. Billy is
He's
probably
locked.
quite happy about that because for some reason she hates
The
him.
mimic's like, oh, this guy tastes bad.
Um,
Puts him over in like a separate
Where's
little
everyone?
closet.
Where's everyone else?
yeah, exactly. Everybody else is over with Valis and with Alina. So all of you are kind of on this approach. You are looking straight to where Billy is. Ori was directly behind, and then this hallway shifted. And you all lost sight of Billy as you went to the left.
Do the walls go all the way up to the ceiling?
The walls do go all the way up to the ceiling.
All right.
It is low, only about 10 feet tall here. That room that Billy is in is a little bit taller, up to 15 feet. But in this moment, as the walls begin to shift and the desks and the crates begin to move on their own accord, you can see places where in the mortar, the stones kind of crack open and these little tendrils begin to come out. And I need everybody to roll for initiative.
Ew.
Oh no. Oh, okay. I'll take it.
Mystery.
Nice.
Oh boy.
That's fitting.
Okay, anybody
I'll
natural
Try to
20?
do the honors
Natural
here.
20.
Oh, look at that. Ori natural 20.
25 if it matters.
Anybody 25 to 20?
What are you looking for?
The little flag that's up
All
top.
right, 20 to 15.
18.
18 for Alina.
Ah!
All right, 15 to 10.
11.
We're just gonna
10.
let it ride.
Ooh, hoo, hoo.
Rocket it.
Cheshire. 10 for Minka. 10 to 5.
This is not every day that it turns out.
Valis, where are you?
Oh, I am still on vacation. I'm at 3.
Jeez, okay. Valis really coming in. What
We
about
got
you,
a wheel
Hala?
for Hala.
2.
I got a 2.
No, no.
How many pluses? Do you roll?
That can't be right.
That cannot
Oh,
be
I
right.
rolled
Oh,
a
it can
2.
be.
What's
So
your
you
dex?
Get to,
You
you,
normally
get
get
to add the initiative
It
here.
could
so
be
it's 5.
right, but it would be a very low
Okay.
dex.
I was about to say, like, you are a
Okay,
ranger,
okay.
man.
Sorry, I was in.
No one goes slower than me.
Only rolled.
I rolled a
you're in
negative
Iron Thorn.
3.
Yes.
Yeah. Fair enough. If you want.
Yeah, that's the thing about switching through all the different games.
So I'm going to put the both of the NPCs at the same initiative count of 4. 3 is where Valis ended up. They technically tied Hala, but I feel like it makes more sense for everybody to go to a different initiative. So the way that this works out, Ori, you are starting us off at natural 20. The Maimer of the Maze is going next at 23. Then Alina with an 18. Then Cheshire. Then Minka. Then Hala. Then both the Artificer and Ori's sister. And then Valis. At the very end of time and space, you will wake up. You will greet the day at 9:30 a.m. on this, and you will then join combat. But
He's like
Ori,
sunburned.
in this moment, the walls shift. You just see rushing stone in front of you before it stops, and you just see stone kind of like
All around
all around, and then turning around, you can see there is that
that
kind of-
hallway
yeah.
still. All right. Can I fly above people at this with this height?
Superman it.
What's the
Yeah,
height?
it'll be tight, but you will have to Superman it. Just
Okay,
as
that's
Alina was
fine.
saying.
Brenna once snuck through a whole group of enemies
true.
doing that.
You're much smaller.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna move.
Are you flying above our
Yeah,
head?
and I'm gonna be like,
Barbarian.
the maze is alive. Billy's in trouble.
Ori, as you move, right next to you, this barrel pops open, and you can see these teeth and this tongue, and you do provoke an attack of opportunity.
God damn.
And it lashes out right as the lid seems to shift, as the weight shifts uncomfortably and slams shut. The tongue
Nice.
just
I
taut as it
step
just
on it.
slams. It's his natural one.
Nice.
It is unable to grab you. You just skirt out of the distance.
Jump off of it with my foot to start flying.
Where are you
An
going?
inverse
You
bar.
kick off of
Yeah.
it.
Halfway.
I'm gonna go
Yeah, go.
my full movement to get to like just behind Cheshire. I think it gets me there, right? And then that's 30, right?
You rush around the corner and you can see
This is 30.
there is this treasure chest that is directly in front of you. It is partially open. You see just tons of gold on the inside. But as you do, you can see it is like dripping from the top. Beyond that, you can see a long hallway. There is this artificial kind of, not artificial, but a decorative suit of armor. There is a barricade that turns to the right. And you would imagine following that hallway will lead you towards the core.
Yeah. Do I need to like do anything to get around it, or is it completely blocking the way? Can I just fly over it again? Knowing
If
that
you're
it's
flying,
probably-
you can fly over it.
Okay. Bonus action dash to fly over.
Okay. You fly straight over this. The tongue lashes out from the top, but you go straight by. Where are you going?
I'm gonna go 30 more feet.
Okay.
4, 5, 6.
Yes.
Oh,
barricade.
damn. And then do I from there nothing besides the mimic that's behind me. Is the thing in front of me alive too? Is everything alive right now?
Every step that you take, the stone shifts and moves. As you look to the left, the wall begins to crawl open. As you look down, you can see every now and then the stones blink open like eyes. Everything is alive around you, and it's all one creature.
That's a relief.
Damn.
Yeah. I do not feel relieved.
It's one health
All right, I
bar
think I'm
instead of,
gonna-
like 50.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just one big one.
Action. Go another 30 feet.
Okay. You fly over this barricade that would almost certainly be a difficulty for you had you not invoked this cloak of the bat, and you rush down the hallway, and in front of you, in fact, you can see that there is this room that opens up again, and you can see this huge face that is looming out of this mirror on one side. You can see the soul mirror reflecting on the other with the space for the key to go in, but that is directly in front of you. Anything else, Ori?
It's probably gonna change if I don't go through there, isn't it? Do I use? Yeah, no, I've already used it because we didn't take a short rest yet, right?
No,
Yeah.
we're still.
Yeah, so I can't take my action surge, so that's it for me.
All right, that is your turn. Ori, that does bring us to the Maimer in the Maze.
Ooh, I like
So
name.
this
Horrifying villain.
creature is going to use Grand Pseudo.
No, it's all of
And
them.
in this moment,
It's
it
the
is
thing.
going to make a right next to you, between you and Valis. In fact, the floor opens up. The stones shift apart by about a foot, and there is about a dozen of these 3 or 4 foot long tongues that lash straight up, taut, almost like a whip, and then fire to the left and right, unfolding on both of you. First, Minka, it strikes out at you. That is going to be a 25 to hit.
That does hit.
Okay. It lashes out at you, dealing 12 points of acid damage.
Yeah, multi.
Anything else?
That is all that it does for Minka. For you,
By
Val,
reflex, a
Yep.
shield lashes out and intercepts and reduces that by 15.
Excellent.
Oh, damn.
With your shield bailing an object, I need you to make a strength saving throw, please.
Can I ask a question about a thing that I have?
Yeah.
Brace. When a creature you see moves within reach, how does that work with a creature that I'm in? Am I always... Does
What
it
is,
can't
what is
move
the
within-
ability?
It's a reaction to make an attack against the creature if it moves into the range of my melee weapons.
So this creature has a movement speed of 0.
Okay, so it's like
So it won't work, but
okay.
theoretically, yes, you could.
Okay. Okay.
If somebody can move this,
If the wall moves into
In
him,
theory.
then he could, right?
in theory, yes,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely, very good to think about.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. That's more what I was thinking. Like
That
if,
is a
if like
good
one of the living
idea.
armor things comes
So,
at me or something.
21.
Yeah.
With a 21, as you intercept, this tongue hits the shield, and you feel it almost latch on the individual bristles, like embedding into the metal, and you pull free.
No,
you
mine.
imagine that you would get adhered onto, were it not the case, but you are able to disable elements of that damage. For you, Vincent, that will be a natural 20.
Aw.
Silver barbs, take it back.
Hey.
Hey-o.
Instead, that is only going to be a 19 to hit.
Wow.
Miss.
And so, as it lashes out, there is a flurry of magic from Cheshire, and this just ricochets a little bit over your shoulder. But that is for Minka and for Valis. Against Rez, it will lash out with Grand Pseudopod. That is a natural 1. Rez just flies around it. For you, Alina, Grand Pseudopod lashes out. That is another natural 1. And so, the one that hits you and Rez just hit each other and
Tongue
kind
tied.
of tie him up.
She gives Rez a little fist bump.
There you go. Against you, Hala, that is going to be a 14 to hit.
Miss.
All right, not doing great. Against you, Cheshire, that is going to be a 20 to hit. All right. One of these tongues flies out of the barrel and grabs onto you, hitting you for a total of 8 points of acid damage.
Amazing to be on a list.
Against the Artificer, that will be a miss. Against your sister, that will be a miss. And then, very close though, that is all of your party, except for Ori. Ori, next to you, you get struck as well. That is only a 10 to hit. And
Wow,
so
it hit all of
these
us.
tongues just across all elements of this space. They lash out and try to strike. But that is all that this can do with Grand Pseudopod. That does bring us to
That was a lot,
Alina.
Joe.
Oh, dude, that's all it can do? Oh, man. Okay, so from Alina's perspective, not making a check or anything, but she thinks that Billy is, like, that away. Like, go follow Ori, and maybe that's where Billy is.
Yeah, from like the over, and Ori has a really keen understanding of like layouts of things. So Ori is following a mental map that is really sharp. For you, you've followed Ori enough to know that Ori typically can get himself into a trouble in a way that like means that he probably is going in the direction of Billy right now.
He managed to find the final boss.
Yeah.
Halfway through the level.
Also, I was like, the maze is alive, Billy's in danger,
You guys
and
are,
then
like,
went
still
in that
the
direction.
introduction video, and Ori's in the background fighting the boss.
So Alina
+5.
is gonna be like,
+5.
no. And she's just gonna, use her bonus action to activate her flight, and she's gonna Superman along the ceiling,
another wheel for
following
Cheshire.
Ori.
Okay,
your
you
movement?
fly. As
So
that
we're gonna
happens,
do.
there is a wheel. Sorry, not a wheel. There is a wheel. I just knocked that off,
There's
though.
two
What I
wheels.
meant is there is a reaction. This creature lashes out with the tongue. That is going to be a 22 to hit.
Yeah.
So with that 22, you are going to be taking 10 points of acid damage. But you just kind of fly, this acid burning into your calf. Where are you going?
Following Ori. Sorry, give me 1 second.
No problem.
Okay, so Superman along the wall, and as she does, she's gonna be like, she's just gonna say what Ori said, like, everything's alive. You probably saw that. Tongues, Billy's in danger. And so she's gonna fly. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay.
And then she's gonna do another move action.
There you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She catches up to Ori and she's like, do you see Billy? And then
And this is like as the two of you are Superman flying around the corner
Yeah.
together, basically.
she's saying it like to his butt.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem.
What?
With Windwalk, you have plenty of experience with this. Anything else?
Yeah, and then to Rez, she's gonna say, you stay there and help our friends. Please.
All right, you got it. The
Good
imp
job.
says, and you kind of hear that through the telepathic bond that you share.
We got another woe.
That is your
2 wheels and a wheel.
Balance.
that is your turn.
Balance
That
and
brings
all.
us to
Thank you, Talon.
It's Rez's turn.
Rez,
now,
who
so-
goes over and takes the help action.
Yeah.
When that will become, I mean, he can take the help action anywhere.
Yeah, he'll
That
do it
is
for
Rez's
whoever's
turn.
next, basically.
That brings us to Cheshire. Binka, you are on deck. Cheshire, you see all along the mortar of the bricks kind of opens up and tongues like a wave going across a baseball stadium, just lash out through the hallway, almost like a car wash, hitting every one of your party members. Many of your party members kind of exploding out with flight away from that. What are you doing?
I agree, Talon. Thank you.
Not happy.
Yes.
The great
free
arbiter.
action.
We gotta respect it.
I do.
I'm going to make my way
That's why
down
we
this
have the
hallway.
avatar.
This creature is quite reactive. It seems to be able to take a reaction on every turn. It does strike out at you. It does a 21 hit.
Of course it does.
With a 21, that is going to be 11 points of acid damage. As you fly away, one of these tongues goes straight up your sleeve, and you feel it just kind of lash around your elbow before kind of straight out. But you fly across the space. Where are you going?
I'm giving myself a hug and damn it, this healing word.
No problem.
So sad. Now we're all sad.
1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Cheshire's like, I don't want to be lunch.
And that's all I'm doing.
There you go. That is your
free
turn.
action grown.
Cheshire, it is a free action, and that brings us to Minka. Haley, you are on deck.
Okay. So, I was trying to look up a rule because I don't know how this will work,
Great.
if it will work at all.
Great.
Go for it.
100%.
So, I don't know if this will work, and I don't know if we want it to work.
to
be honest.
Nah, I'm unsure.
I want
The
to
music
find out what
especially.
happens. Yeah.
Hey,
So,
it doesn't hurt
You have
to
a lot
try.
of questions that you could ask. Are you casting that spell?
Okay. I would like to attempt to think about it in character.
As an
So-
action?
As an action.
Okay. Make an
Um,
Arcana check.
So I would like to think about whether or not using flesh to stone would work on a mimic.
Make an Arcana check. That was not the one I thought you were going to do. so
Same.
I'm
I thought it was
sure
the
that-
other one.
I thought about that too.
Joke's
but-
on you, I'm already stoned.
12.
Uh-oh.
With a 12. Okay. You think about this. Your
You have
mind
2 wheels
frantically
in a
racing
row.
across the different aspects of that spell, how you've managed to cast it on various things before.
Which I
Give
have
me
not.
just 1 second here.
So I've never cast this spell before. I just know about it in theory. And then so this is it.
Lots in the back of your mind being like, don't be stupid.
Yeah, basically I'm just like either this would be great and it'll turn the maze into an actual maze, or this would be terrible because then we'll be locked out of everything forever and then or it
Then-
could do nothing.
Yeah. I mean, we
But if you
can all
turn
die
it
in
into
here.
stone,
That's fine.
can't you then shape it and move it?
So, what I
Right.
will say
That's
is
in theory.
you do not know. With a 12,
Yeah.
not quite high enough to know, you can see things that might make it work either way. If this creature is not mutable, as it is able to shape change, and many things that can change shape are not, it will have no effect. If it is mutable, but it requires that kind of restraining action, this creature already doesn't move, and so that won't probably work on it. Hard to tell.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna think about that really hard, and in the meantime,
Think about medium hard with the 12.
no, that's
Slightly
listen,
above medium hard.
That's about that, right?
Looking at my intelligence is about on par.
Fair enough.
So that was my action. So I'll look around, and Cheshire's gone around the corner. No one else has really done anything. So what I will do is I will take form of the archer
Okay.
and basically turn and look down the hallway.
Okay.
There's a box and a barrel. So I'm gonna try to shoot the barrel
Okay, yeah, go
with
ahead
my
and make
bonus
an attack
action,
roll.
and then just see what happens.
Make an attack roll. You take the form of the archer, the constellation forms behind you, almost like wings. It becomes a bow, and then you pull one of these motes of starlight and you fire it as an arrow.
I completely missed.
How did you miss that?
I missed this, and I most likely also missed, unless its AC is really low, That is a grand total
Just a
of
bit inside it.
15.
Yeah.
With the 15, you fire, and as it's about to hit this barrel, the barrel kind of rocks and kind of slams into the side. The wood shatters and just melts into the floor, almost like tiny little grubs that just become part of this overall mimic. Doesn't seem to do any damage. You feel like you missed.
Yeah. Okay. Oh.
You can pull that barrel off the map, though.
So the one next to Halo. This one
Yeah.
here?
No, that one.
Yeah.
What happened to the arrow when it like hit the wall?
It's a mode of like starlight, and
starlight.
so it hit and then kind of dissipated.
Oh, I
You
see.
imagine if it was a regular arrow, it would have lost its momentum and then clattered onto the ground.
Gotcha.
I will remain. I will remain.
And yet, I
Optimistically,
persist.
you hope to remain. That is your turn, Rinkus. That brings us to you, Hala, and then we are bringing the NPCs up.
Okay. I'm going
seized
to follow Cheshire. I think I have 30 feet.
Yeah, we were right next to
So-
each other, so we should be able to.
Can you fly?
Are you?
No.
Did you fly?
No.
Okay.
How do you?
You should just go over.
Can you just walk over this thing?
So that would be difficult terrain. That would take double your movement to get through that space, so 10
I
feet.
have
5, 6.
a thing against that.
Oh, because
Oh,
you're
you are
a ranger.
Are you in your favorite terrain?
Is your favorite terrain the inside of
Contestants?
a monster?
What a wild favorite terrain to choose.
Ah, yes, my favorite terrain.
Here we are.
Inside
again.
the belly of the beast.
I'm trying to think if there's any creature
It's
that
swamp.
could work for it. I
Swamp
can't
Terrain.
think of
is
any
the favorite
that would work.
terrain. Is this
Swamp.
swamp?
I
Oh,
have
it's kind of
coast-
swampy
I have
in here.
Coast, swamp, and
It's a bit damp.
Arctic.
Oh,
It's kind of
you've got
swampy
three
in
now.
here, Joe.
I
Come
don't
on.
see a coastline.
I think
It is
swamp
not.
is
I
the
would say
closest
so.
possible.
If you had Underdark, actually, you would be in the correct space. Technically, the
Oh, I don't
Fadar.
even know.
But
I don't
no.
remember that.
All right.
Okay.
So you're here
Okay.
after a move.
I am going to. I was going to use an ability.
Mhm.
I'm going to do hide in plain sight.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Great choice. Is it just my roll?
Plus
so it's
dexterity, stealth.
Plus
Stealth
which
ability.
is here. So whatever you got. Plus 3.
14.
14. Okay. You kind of move through the space. You can see Cheshire kind of flying ahead. Everybody else is flying. These tongues coming out of the ground, out of the walls, out of the ceiling. It is hard. You kind of shrink down, making yourself as small as possible. Anything else?
Does she know whether she has succeeded in hiding?
You feel a little hidden, but as you are on the inside of this creature, and it seems to be not perceiving through sight necessarily, as it hit many people, probably not super well hidden. Yeah, as like running through in the inside of the body, they're probably feeling you move. Anything else?
So did you move your action?
No, I think that's
Alrighty.
it. There's nothing to like attack or anything.
That is your turn. You follow Cheshire, kind of this
Plenty of
flying
things to
blob
attack.
of pink. This brings us to our NPCs. So we'll start with the Artificer. The Artificer is going to clasp their hand onto their chest, and there is a of artificial energy that gives them a little bit of temporary HP. And then they are going to follow suit with everybody else. Run. They are going to have to go take the dash action, which will put them directly behind Cheshire, as they are a little slower than everybody else. Yeah, one over to the left. They're going to leave the space open for the Hala. And then for Uri's
one back, I
sister,
think. One back. There. Nope, nope,
next.
nope. There. Yeah.
very nice. Ori's sister has a lot of abilities, but almost all of them require some line of sight. Oh, you know what?
Fireball doesn't.
I was about
So Ori's sister is going to take movement just to the end of the hallway. For both the NPCs, as they do move, that does provoke attacks of opportunity. And it's going to miss both of them. As she gets to the end of the hallway, seeing this ranger, seeing Cheshire, the ranger having just recently rid a shark across the ocean, they're going to gesture to you with the staff, and the staff, the runes along it light up, kind of filling the space between the elements of the scales. Turning, Hala, you can see they lock eyes with you, and for a moment their eyes are not human, they are almost draconic. and then they cast a spell directly at you, striking you in the chest with haste. And you can feel suddenly energy flood your body, and time slows down as you are much faster. You can take an additional action on your turns. You are physically moving a lot faster. It gives you a couple of neat abilities. You're harder to hit right now. When this wears off in a couple of turns, all of a sudden, like, the adrenaline will go in and you'll get really tired. But for right now, you are moving faster than you've ever moved before. That is their turn. That brings us to at the very end of time. Everybody has moved. People have, like, considered their actions. Valis, it is time for you.
So coming into this combat, I saw Billy in front of me, and can you, like, re-describe what happened so that I'm like, what am I facing? Am I facing a wall?
Yeah, so Billy stepped through, and as Billy stepped through, the entire hallway just shifted. It was like the wall itself slid both to the right and left, opposite sides. So, like, in an instant, Billy just disappeared, and then you see just stone in front of you.
Did I get moved? Did I feel like the floor moved me, or do I feel like a wall appeared in front of me?
You feel like the entire structure is shifting and reorganizing around you, not in a physical way, very much almost like intestines connecting and reconnecting to each other.
Okay. I attack this wall right here.
Go for it. Make an attack roll. Absolutely. You turn. You can see where the mortar broke apart. There are these tongues that lash out. You stab straight to this mouth.
Does a... Let's see... Does a 23 hit?
A 23 absolutely hits. This is a wall. Go ahead and roll damage.
11 magical slashing and 5 radiant.
Oh, Rez gave you a thing.
Oh,
11
let's see if it
magical
crits. It did not crit.
The magical
Sorry.
slashing, despite the fact that it is magical, only does half the amount that you would expect it to do.
Okay.
The radiant damage does the full amount. How much was that?
5?
5, okay. So 10 damage total. Anything else, Valis?
Did anything happen? Did it feel like I struck a thing, not just a wall?
Yes, it felt like you just stabbed into a creature. You stabbed into this mouth. Some of the tongues just severed. Blood spurts out as like little rockets, and the blood sizzles in the stone. It is acidic, certainly. Yes, you stabbed a creature.
Okay. And then I will turn to Minka and say, "Oh, looks like everyone else went that way. Are we staying?" And then I attack, and as I say that, I casually just attack the wall again.
Another attack, yeah.
Sitting there stacked.
Higher on the dice this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
9 magical slashing and 8 radiant.
Okay, and just like before, half as effective and then fully effective. Anything else, Valis?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cast, as a bonus action using the Prayer Beads of Javaris, I'm gonna cast Animate Objects to animate, 10 swords that are in my pack.
Phenomenal. Within your pack, fing, 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 all these little
I
swords
also
begin
have
to just
objects.
fly out. And it's good because you get the sense that trying to do this on any of these objects would not work as you watch one just melt back into the structure. Certainly, it is good that you brought your own. You animate about 10 swords around you. I think it's 8 that animate all around you.
It's 10.
10 swords that animate all around you. And that is your turn, Valis.
That is my turn.
Hell
All right.
redeemed a narrative
That
detail.
brings us to... Oh, okay, nice. For Hala. Cool. So, I can help you with that. So, on initiative order
boy.
20, you're going to do a little bit of movement.
Shimmy, shimmy.
Ori, as the person who could be most affected by this, can you roll a d6, please?
To the left, to the left.
3.
3. So, your patience pays off.
See, this is why we don't move. This is why we
This
stay.
shifts.
No!
Fuck.
Hell yeah.
God damn it!
I turn around. Oh, Ori, what took you so long to get here?
I'm so excited.
That's okay, though.
We made negative progress.
Has made her way into the mirror and is now trapped in a very similar way to how Halo was,
No.
but also mostly conveniently to get Billy out of the board. And you
I
get the
don't
sense that
want
at
her
least
to.
for right now, Billy cannot be critted to death by accident, and that
Very
is
true.
nice. So You can see the walls
History
begin
will
to
not
shift
repeat
and
Yes.
move. Ori, as you run, and then suddenly you see the walls just begin to fly, and you are going backwards and backwards and backwards, and you have barely moved at all. In fact, you have actually gone
Basically in a loop.
basically nowhere. Suddenly, you are now in a very different configuration. For you, Valis, for you, Minka, there is vindication here. Next to you, this little imp go, "Hey, look, it's Billy!" But that is initiative order 20. That brings us to Ori, and then the Maimer of the Maze.
You're like, fuck. Yeah, fuck you, Valis.
I was very eager for the mechanics of this fight.
We're gonna scooch this
I
one,
feel like I'm
two,
just gonna
three,
stand still for now on.
5.
Maybe it'll magically
6.
fucking move me.
It's like
Closer.
50-50, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 30% chance.
So I can get to here, which I don't love, but I'll stick there for
As you
Try
move,
stabbing a barrel.
this creature,
Yeah.
between these two barrels, the box pops open, the barrel kind of stretches open, and they lash out at you. However, they, again, just tie together as natural one. That is like the fourth natural. Actually, you know what?
Is that dice okay?
No, keep it.
No, it's
Oh
entirely-
no, no.
I'm bringing out
In
the
the
fancy
dark.
dice now.
cool.
Ooh.
Then I'm gonna bonus action dash.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm gonna go here,
Okay.
and then
In front of you, you can see almost 8 feet tall, this huge mouth, these gigantic compound eyes. You can see teeth that go all the way back and then around the frame of the door. And you can see it almost goes into the mirror that is implanted onto its back. It stretches open wide. You get the sense that it could probably swallow you whole.
cool. So this is the mirror on the back. Is that the one that has the mirror key?
Yes.
Okay. So just wanted to make sure. Okay. I'm gonna from there take a shot at it.
Okay, make an attack roll.
Do I get advantage for flanking from Billy?
You get the sense that this creature is unflankable. But I love where you're at.
We're getting creative, boys.
Nice.
You don't need the flank.
That's gonna be an 18 on the die for like I think a 31.
That will hit. Absolutely.
That's gonna be. A D8. And I'm gonna use a charge of the fire.
Okay, from Ruby Crescendo.
Ruby Crescendo to mark it. I don't think I can do sneak attack because I haven't used insightful fighting yet, and I'm not
You do not have
at
advantage.
advantage. Yeah. But that's gonna be 3 magical fire and 10 magical piercing.
Magical piercing only does half as much as you would expect, but the magical fire sinks home fully. Anything else, Ori?
That is it for me.
As you are like firing into this thing, you see one of the
At the face.
crossbow bolts just hits right into the cheek. This creature puts out one of these tongues, grabs the bolt, and just snaps it in half out of the face. But that is your turn, Ori. That brings us to the Maimer itself. With you directly in front of it, instead of using Grand Pseudopod, it is going to make a multi-attack against you.
Am I already within its range?
Yes, you are. You're
So
within
I
15
can't
feet
use
of
my
it.
brace. Okay. The
It's
thing.
not moving.
It's
Yeah.
not moving.
No, yeah, no.
This moves
You-
speed of 0.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
this creature, the tongue that breaks the bolt in half, then just lashes out to grab onto you. First, Ori does a 19 hit.
Yes.
Excellent. So, this reaches out and strikes you for only 9 points of acid damage.
Okay.
Can you make a strength saving throw at disadvantage, please?
Okay. Is Ori about to get swallowed?
I might be.
Is
Joe does
he-
a great plain face. Just
I don't know if you're doing something or
Joe,
not.
we want to
No,
win
I'm just-
D&D.
I just want to know.
Question
Wait and
first.
see.
We're gonna find out very shortly.
Never
I
mind.
also don't
Never
have
mind. I'm gonna
pilots,
do.
like,
True. Minka doesn't know.
Ooh, yeah, I'm probably gonna get swallowed because that's a failure.
Ori, this creature yanks you 15 feet straight into its mouth and then it makes a maiming bite attack against you at advantage.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that
God,
I didn't
it's
use my
cheating you.
It's definitely a natural 20.
reaction.
Oh,
Cool.
no.
Can anybody?
I'm too
Um,
far away. I can't.
I'm gonna use my reaction to uncanny dodge on the fucking critical hit.
That is a good idea. Let me use this dice roller here.
It's not spells, right? No,
It's
none
not a
of these
spell.
are spells.
Ori, you are taking 57 points of acid damage as it just
Is that critical?
just snaps down onto you. Yes, that is
Okay,
a
so
critical.
halved because of uncanny dodge.
Yes, halved because of uncanny
Thank
dodge.
goodness.
Hang on one
So
second.
that's
here.
what 28.
I just want to
27
double check
per
something about uncanny dodge. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. That is the first attack. The second attack. That is all that it could do. Oh, and a bonus attack. That's all that it could do. Fantastic.
You didn't give me
Ori.
the damage for the first,
Oh.
the other attack.
Just
In fairness.
7 additional points of acid damage.
You forgot to collect our homework.
Is he
But-
still standing right here?
Yeah, you are directly in front of this creature
Well,
now.
you know, I got the uncanny dodge. The
And for
fucking
the moment,
critical,
Ori,
so I
you
feel
are
like I
grappled.
should-
Sorry, you are not grappled. You are adhered.
Oh,
At here.
So as an action, you can make another check to escape this. You'd imagine the DC is higher than whatever it is that you rolled.
okay.
An
An action to escape with a strength check.
Correct.
Okay, it's got to be a strength check.
Correct. It has to be a strength check. Anything else?
Damn.
Sorry,
That was
that's my
yeah.
turn.
That was
Anything
it for
else, me?
That's it for
No,
me.
That's all I'm gonna do.
Yeah, if I'm lined up.
Alina, what would you like to do? Cheshire, you are on deck.
All right. Alina can't see what's happening. She knows Billy's in there and she needs her help. Sir.
Oh.
She's gonna say, Rez, go save Billy, and she's gonna cast Empower Fiend.
Okay.
You could
Good
kindly
time,
go
good
get Big
time.
I
Rez.
can. I just gotta remember where I went because I saw it. Oh,
Nice.
Big Rez.
Big Rez.
Here he is.
Big man Rez.
you
Oh,
can
yeah.
see behind you the arms just
It's like Blade Man.
and this gigantic,
It's not
this
that.
already very rotund imp suddenly
Does he hit
just
his
grows
head?
huge. He does. He jams his head and his shoulders up against the roof, and then scraping his head and shoulders, he just begins to move.
Yeah.
And for his turn, he's going to go into to
Well,
go help
hold on, let
Billy.
me finish my turn
Okay,
and then
sure.
I'll do this. Okay, so I am gonna move. I just wanted to do that first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That does provoke an attack of opportunity.
5.
That is going to be a 25 to hit. All right, that 25 will deal 7 points of acid damage.
That is fine. Okay. And she's actually. Can I probably can't occupy the same space as Rez, right?
You
Rez
cannot.
isn't really
Rez is-
there. He's actually like here.
Yeah,
well,
you can
he's
5 feet
technically
more over.
Where
here.
was I here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I can stand like in front of him.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
He's right now like Captain Morganing this.
That's fine. Okay,
phrase.
so now it's Rez's turn, and he is indeed going to move. What's his speed? He's a pretty chonky, bushy guy.
45 maybe?
I've got him here. Big Rose. 40 feet. Okay. So 1.
Big Rez does take an attack of opportunity, but it's only gonna be a 10 to hit.
That doesn't hit. So he's gonna stand up next to the mirror, and he's gonna be like, oh, and he's gonna. Oh, actually, no, he's biting.
Okay.
But for flavor, he's punching.
Yeah, no problem.
And that's gonna be 3 attacks.
To be clear, is he hitting the mirror or the face?
The face.
Okay.
Thank you for the opportunity to clarify.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's gonna be a 21 to hit. for
21
first
is a hit,
hit.
absolutely. You punch this creature right in the face.
So that's gonna be max damage for 21. That's not. It is right. 21 points of necrotic damage.
Damn, 21 points of necrotic damage, which only about half as effective as you would hope it to be.
That's okay. Punch again. Same roll. 21.
Yep, that'll hit.
For 11 points of necrotic.
Which only deals half as much yet again. And
That's
you would
still
imagine,
okay.
had the first hit done the full amount of damage, Ori would have been released.
Say it again.
If the first hit had not done half damage, Ori would have been released.
You mean
There's a
that?
damage threshold in the threshold.
If you do damage
Do
against
damage
it
in order
with
to
something that
whoever's
is
done.
not
That is,
resisting,
it's not resistant to it. Okay. So Rez is gonna be like, okay, I get it now. And he's going to do his hurl flame at disadvantage and try to
Okay.
do fire instead. 14?
14 is a miss, unfortunately.
Okay.
At this close range, he goes, and the ceiling is so low, he just punches the ceiling with this fistful of flame.
Don't worry,
There's
Alina,
a
I figured it
shower
out.
of sparks for you, Ori. Hellfire just rains down in your face. But no
Sorry.
problem. Anything else?
No, that'll be it for old Rez.
Alrighty, that is Rez's turn.
That was pretty good.
Rez
Having
takes
been
up the
chomped
space
by the
directly there. That
mirror.
brings us to Cheshire. Minka, you are on deck. Cheshire, the halls shift all around you. The artificer, the ranger, both now at your back. What do you want to do?
Nope, 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 nope. Continuing on my way.
One of the tongues lashes out from the side of the wall. That is going to be an 18 to hit.
That'll hit.
damn.
You do
Poor
take
Cheshire.
10 points of acid damage.
Oh man.
Nope, nope, nope. And I'm
Life is so unfair to Cheshire right
jumping
now.
right there, and that's what I'm doing.
All right. You fly around the corner. The corner continues to lick you, but you rush away from it as fast as possible. That is your turn. That brings us to Minka. Hala, you are on deck.
Okay. So, with how things are currently,
Yes.
the box is in the way for me getting around the corner, right?
Correct. You have Alina in one space that you might be able to pass through, and then you have the box in one.
Right. Okay. So, let's see here. So, I would like to.
Do I do?
I'm gonna go here.
Yes, but it's already built into.
I can see what the shit show that's happening
You
there.
can. You have a little cover with this box until the box kind of cracks open and you can see eyes gleaming out of it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
So, what we've learned thus far is that
And you moved, right?
I did move.
So that does provoke an attack of opportunity.
Right.
That is going to be a 20 to hit.
That does it.
You are taking 8 points of acid damage.
Where's the attack coming from? Did it come from this crate?
It,
Or the
yes,
ground.
but yes, it's like several tongues coming out of everywhere. It's just one attack, but the walls, the ceiling, the floor itself is all attacking.
Oh, okay, alright.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna try something.
I was trying to
Minka's gonna try to starry grasp the
I learned everything.
box
Okay.
and see. Not starry grasp. Shocking grasp.
Sure.
The box and see if it similarly decides to disappear.
Make an attack roll.
Okay.
I was hoping you do this because I want to know what it would.
So that is a.
74.
23 is a hit.
Okay, so that's lightning damage.
I feel like this
Okay.
thing's probably got relatively
3d6
low
lightning
AC
damage.
because, like,
It's
how do you miss?
It's like shooting the
You,
outside
unless
the barn
you
from
swing
inside
it
the
air,
barn.
yeah, unless you completely whiff, you're hitting something that's probably part of the
But
creature
AC is also like armor and shit.
or
so
one
like,
Yeah.
of your
it's
allies.
also partially a wall.
That's the
Yeah.
armor part of the class.
Right. The armor is that
The
it's like
classes
made out
and
of
everything
stone and can move a bit.
So, Minka, as you see this thing, you kind of duck behind the box for cover, and then the lid creaks up, and you see the eyes. And so, almost instinctively, your hand's already on it. You just jolt it with electricity.
All right, so that's a total of 12 lightning damage.
And Minka, that does only half the amount that you had expected to.
Okay, we're learning.
Question:
Yes.
Can you read the text of Shocking Grass regarding reactions? I'm trying to figure out how that works with this creature that's taking a bajillion reactions.
Yeah, so in theory, now it cannot take any more reactions against me.
Oh, just
Um,
against you.
Again, on a hit, a target makes one until the end of your next turn. Oh, woo, that is fucking guidance. I
Can't take reactions until the start of its next turn, and that's a big
It
deal.
can't.
Because the text,
Hell
of,
yeah.
the text
Okay.
of reactive is that it gets to take a reaction at the start of each turn, or during
Everyone's
each turn.
yeah, like
Yes.
at everyone's
So,
turn.
until the start of its next turn, it no longer can take reaction.
Hell
That's
yeah.
That's
Excellent.
huge.
Very,
That-
very nice. Very
That
nice.
worked
Delicious.
roughly how I
So
wanted
want
as
to
you
like this
shocking
one.
grasp this crate, the crate just jolts, the box top flies open and just scatters into these little almost wriggling organelles, and then you see the eyes on the inside just pop like a bunch of little fireworks before the whole crate just melts into the floor. You feel mixed about the results.
Is this
Anything
crate
else,
gone?
Minka? Yes, that crate's gone.
Okay,
This fight is almost as gross as the chowder monster.
so now having confirmed that hitting things make them go away,
Yeah.
I am going to shoot the barrel
Okay, go
with
ahead
my
and make an
bonus
attack roll.
action. Okay.
Action de bonus. De bonus.
Somehow, I think that may have missed because that's a 3 on the die, which I believe
Probably a miss.
I was the same as last time.
So
It
you
was a
did
miss.
win.
As you
That does not mean you
stumble
cannot die.
forwards, you shock and grasp this crate and it disappears, kind of melting into the ground. So you fall almost to your knees, throwing this arrow out, and it goes wide. You almost hit Rez. You hear Rez just go, "Hey, watch it!" But no problem.
I'm big
Anything
now.
else?
That was my action, my bonus action. And I, considering not moving has actually been kind of working out for me, and I can actually have a pretty good eye line on most of what's happening.
Hmm.
I'll just stand here.
Okay, you just stand there. That is your turn, Minka. That brings us to Hala. You are feeling fast. What would you like to do?
So
I am feeling energized, and I'm gonna move twice as far as I usually do towards the sister.
What's your movement number?
I'm
Speed?
30 feet, but I'm doubled.
So now it's 60 because she's hasted.
1, 2, 3,
And I'm
4,
just
5,
like, oh, I
6,
gotta get over
7,
there.
8, 9, 10, 11. You still have 5 feet of movement. But you're there now.
I have 5 feet of movement,
So,
but I can't stand in the same spot.
Correct.
you can't. You could move through him, but since you only have 5 feet left, you can't stand in the same spot. Yeah. Or her. Oh, that's her.
Can rangers, I forget, do they have a bonus action dash? Okay. As an action, if you want to keep moving, you can dash, but then you won't be able to take any of the action.
Who's over there right now? Is that
There's the
Cheshire?
sister. This is Cheshire.
You ran past
Lena,
Cheshire.
Minka.
You do provoke an attack of opportunity as well.
I think
Oh
I,
no!
I have something
No,
against
right,
that.
So,
don't,
you
don't.
do not be reacting.
Sorry.
You can't do it.
Minka has figured out her purpose in this way.
Which one are you trying to press? So cure wounds is a touch.
So if you want to help her with that, you would just stop
Oh.
next to her,
So
which
you
is
can-
not a
put it
bad
on the
idea.
way.
You can, you can heal her and then keep moving.
Yeah.
Do you
Can
have
I do that?
healing
Yeah.
resist?
I think I didn't take that.
That's okay.
So yeah, you can pause at Cheshire, give her a little slappy slap, and then keep moving.
It's gonna be like, not like a pat on the shoulder, but more like a, I almost pushed you over or hit you a little too hard. Hee hee. I'm sorry, not sorry.
In the midst
Cheshire
of
may have met her match.
the building,
Oh, no.
like just licking you as you progress around it, no matter which way you turn, the same hallways in front of you. Suddenly, this person that you have just met runs over and playfully kind of checks you into the wall on their way by.
And you get 12 points of your health back
And
as
so,
I just like make my way like.
I will say it's pretty chaotic, and there's appeal to that. But yeah, no problem. You give and you take. You still have 5 feet of movement. Or are you ending your turn there?
I don't think I can get. I'm trying to get as close as possible to seeing the mirror, but I don't think I'm gonna get over there.
Okay.
You could end here if you wanted to, but I don't. It's not really.
I don't
gonna
want to
do
stand
much.
next to the box that could eat my face.
That's a
Excellent.
good
choice.
idea.
That's
Tactics.
fair.
I'm good.
So there you go.
Great.
You now stand there. You do, I believe, have a second action as part of haste. So if you wanted, you could use that to dash and move an
Oh,
additional
yeah.
60 feet.
And wait, but oh, that was
You have
turn
2
one.
actions.
I have 2 turns and
So
double speed.
you have another action.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you can use the action to keep moving, or you can use it to
Make an
punch
attack.
the sister in the face.
Or like
Why
hit
would
the
you?
wall.
Why would you
Oh, yeah,
suggest
hit the wall.
that? You could attack the walls.
You could attack.
You
the
do
walls. I
have-
forgot about that.
You
been
have
working
a
for me.
stabbing implement?
I have
Don't
a
punch my sister.
trident.
That is stabbing.
Yeah.
Have we
triple
determined
stabbing.
that stabbing the walls and or like anything we are standing on does damage to the main body?
Everything you do not know.
We don't know.
I know.
That would have- We know
Dallas
we're
did a
doing
good job at
Vincent
stabbing
seems to
it.
know.
Okay.
This is a good idea.
We are doing
If
something.
you want validation,
sure.
this is a good idea.
Every
Magic
little
or
bit
stabbing?
counts.
Magic stabbing.
I think probably use your trident. That's what I would recommend.
Okay, I'm gonna use my flame tongue trident.
All
It's
right.
so cool.
You pull this out, and for the first time, you now see as Hala kind of tightens the grip on the trident, you see the prongs on it extend about an inch, and then this fire just erupts from the front of it. This is a flaming trident. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
So it's actually you want to do this one first,
This one down here.
the +4. So that's so you got a 15 to hit.
Oh, yes.
A
Okay.
15 is a miss, unfortunately. And so you slam this into the ground. It strikes, and for just a moment, it's like it hardens into actual stone. You just kind of careen off a shell. There is an explosion of embers across the entirety of the floor. Anything else?
Free action balls.
Yeah.
Free action balls, no problem. That does bring us to our NPCs. So the artificer, if you can, well, they're gonna dash, or they're just gonna move 20 feet straight into the corner.
To the corner.
Fucking damn.
And then with their sword out, they're going to fly into an attack in the corner, just kind of careening with the multi-attack. The first is going to be a natural one.
Oh no.
And so that is a miss against the walls of this
Falls
building.
into the wall and
The
is like,
second one is going to be a 16, which is a miss. And so that is valuable
why you still
information
worry
for
about
all of
this
you.
one.
As they
Yes.
swing
This
over, they
guy's a
swipe
piece
with
of
the sword, and it just right off the stone.
I will channel Billy and say this is because you chose butterflies.
That's
You are
the
too
wall.
far away, but you think
in order
that.
to hit the walls. you
For
need to have
Eliari,
above
Lissarai.
for Elissarai, sorry.
You're good.
The reason that I keep saying that is because I actually
They're very
forgot the
similar.
S on the stat
Oh.
block.
Oh no. Eliar. That's so
Elissarai. Okay.
She's like, God damn it, we're never pronouncing my name right.
She goes to Starbucks.
So she has now seen Hala try to stab at the ground, and it
Magiocracy
bounces off,
names.
but they saw Valis stab, and it worked. So a little divided. They're going to go with what works best, and they are going to raise the staff up. It glows with this mote of fire that is familiar to you, Alina,
Uh-oh.
and they just fling it down at their feet. They cast Fireball directly at their feet, and using careful casting, they are going to choose to exclude Minka, Alina, Hala, and I think that's all of the allies in the radius. And they are going to give Alina, Minka, and Hala, you can make a dexterity saving throw at advantage.
Yeah. I thought that careful spell gave like automatic success to the allies.
I don't believe it does. I think it just does advantage. Give me 1 second here.
To automatically succeed on the saving throw.
Oh, there you go. Look at that. So there you go. All three of you.
You're
The
welcome.
fireball explodes. And nothing seems to happen to all of you, but certainly the
You got a cool
dexterity
light
saving
show.
throw for the maze, that is going to be a failure.
I was gonna say, how is it dodging this one?
It's not, as it turns out. All right. So there is an explosion of fire, and she's going to deal 31 points of fire damage, which is not halved.
Do I
Eight.
pop out of the mouth mirror?
And no, that seems to be something that will
adherence.
require attacking the mirror itself. But in this moment, that is what your sister does. That is both the NPCs. That brings us to Valis.
The mirror or the creature itself?
The creature,
creature,
which is
sorry.
part of the. Well, the mirror
Is
is.
upon it, but it's
yeah.
not the same. I just want to make sure we don't have to fucking punch the mirror while Billy's still in it.
I think
Natural one on
I'm
that
picturing
creature
it
would
as
probably
like
be pretty
the
bad.
mirror is there and like the glass part's there, but the creature is there.
There's a
right?
reason why
So-
Minka didn't aim at the mirror, at the creature.
That's fair.
So bonus action, I'm going to instruct my menagerie of swords to follow me as much as you can, and then attack the ground.
Okay, no problem.
So I'm gonna move 30 feet here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as I pass by this barrel, I'm just gonna slash at it because
Okay, make an
fuck
attack.
barrels.
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 Yeah.
A lot, actually.
Just like Donkey Kong.
No, he was just calling it a fuck barrel. It's different. We like that kind.
Yeah, can we keep that one?
Albaron after dark.
20. 16 to hit.
Join us in the fuck
16
barrel.
to hit.
Yeah.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
I'll attack it again.
There you
'Cause...
go. You attack it again. The barrel rocks out of the way. Barrel
the
shouldn't
barrel
be able to
does.
do
Oh my
that.
god, even less on the die.
And unfortunately, the barrel just rolls away.
The barrel
And
Wow.
then it just kind
I
of
hate this
opens
barrel.
up. You can see the wooden
Knocks
planks
in.
become almost spider-like legs that just carry it,
Gross.
and then it just kind of plops down, now blocking the door next to you.
Okay.
Gross.
So I just move it forward 5 feet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's what happens.
It moved.
I'll
It
do
grew
it
legs
for
and
you.
walked.
There you go.
Vincent disagrees.
Wait.
Yeah.
Sticky.
You're still within 10 feet of it, right?
Yeah.
Yes. It is
Yes.
Yeah.
Adjacent.
Just gonna... Wait!
It
That's a
gave
reaction.
reaction.
Never mind.
JK, put it back.
Leave it where it is.
And then I'm going to end my turn, and then at the end of my turn, all the swords around me just plunge into the ground.
Make attack rolls with all the swords around you. I think of it as almost like the start of your turn. They all plunge in, and then they just drag like a cape.
How much ice does he need for this?
Well, he gets it
Can I
probably
borrow
one
this?
You plow the hallway.
for each. This is
The hallway that the
Please.
fuck barrel is
very
in.
chaotic.
Oh my
Damn,
god.
that's
Alright,
like fuckception.
does natural 1
Nope.
and then a 13,
Nope.
14,
Nope.
16's the number.
17.
17 is a meets and pizza.
Okay.
All right, so
17's
2
the
hits
number.
from
Okay.
those. So from those 5
Most
swords.
of the first batch of swords, goblin swords, and they just bend on the tough carapace of the Maimer of the maze. But 2 of them sink in.
So 4, and then so 12 regular slashing from those, and then that's 5 of the swords, and then the other 5
Okay.
rolling for the other 5.
Only seems to do about half as much damage.
19.
19 is a hit.
So 3 of them will hit,
Okay.
and that will be 4,
Just gonna fucking
Plus-
roast it out here.
7 plus
That's okay.
15 slashing.
Make a decision.
15 points of slashing. Again, only doing about half as much as you would expect. But it's starting to pile up all around you. There is the sounds of as the walls rumble, and you can see mortar beginning to fall away. And as it hits the ground, becomes like little particulates of almost bone-like structure. You can see in places the walls begin to ooze as this creature begins to almost sweat on the inside. Everything becomes a little bit more slick, but you feel as if this damage is taking hold. Anything else, Valis?
Yeah, I think
Winston here.
Therefore,
I wanna. What I want to do, because like time and initiative is weird,
Yeah.
I think the rooms are gonna shift again.
Yeah.
So when it does, I want to just call out to the group so that they know which direction to go to try to find the center of the room.
Okay,
Does
so
that make sense?
yes. When it shifts, I'm going to give you, Vincent, 3 seconds to yell left or right if you want. And you guys can do what you want with that.
Oh, I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna yell like here and just hope that they
Okay.
go
Easy
towards
enough.
the sound.
Easy
I'm not
enough.
telling them which way to go.
That is a easy action to prepare. That is your turn, Valis. That brings us to the top of the round. And sure enough, this is going to shift. And Valis, as you are prepared for it, roll a d6, please.
Woo!
Yeah. No.
Wait,
I was
Not a risk.
prepared in that I'm not going
It's nice.
anywhere.
6.
Nice.
6.
But also hilarious.
Interesting.
I don't
know
like
if
that you
that's
find
a
things
good
interesting.
Over here.
Yeah, I always try to judge how much glee Joe is, moving with. This way.
Suddenly, the halls shift, and there is just a big room that appears as they kind of next to each other. This shifts down like this. This is going to shift around like this. And this is
got a tummy
going to
ache, this
tick
guy.
around like this
These are his
guy.
intestines. He's
And
like,
there
oh,
is
it hurts.
healing. Excellent. Okay.
I wasn't expecting a rotation.
The walls and halls shift around, and for you, Minka, you shock this creature, and it's like it pulls all of the walls away from you. And you are now standing in a room with nothing to really immediately grab. It's like it does react to you a little bit. Not mechanically, of course. But the walls shift around, and that is initiative order 20. In front of all of you, you can see the face of this creature, the compound eyes just moving madly about the space, kind of not looking at all of you, but looking through the walls and seeming to sort of behold and calculate as it moves these pieces around. But that is
The
initiative
layer,
order
or-
20.
yeah.
That brings us to Ori.
I'm adhered still.
You are adhered still.
So what exactly can I do with
So
the...
you have movement speed of 0.
Okay.
You can attack, but attack rolls against this creature will be at disadvantage.
Okay.
And you can take an action to try to break free.
As would bonus action disengage would not work in this situation?
Correct.
Okay.
What about full action disengage?
Full action disengage would work even less. From an efficiency standpoint.
All right, I'm going to use my bonus action to do insightful fighting. Insight check against the creature,
Okay.
contested by its deception.
Deception shockingly good.
Perception?
18.
I believe I got 21. So it is now for the next minute. I can do sneak attack as long as I don't have disadvantage, which I do have. So I'm going to use my action to try and escape.
Insightful fighting, and the insight that you gain from this is fuck. And you
Get away.
need to get away.
GTF.
So it's a strength
Strength
check, athletics check, or strength check.
I would say athletics. Be athletics.
Okay. Because just because there isn't a strength check, right? Or...
There is, just add your strength modifier to it.
Oh yeah. It just doesn't. Yeah. It's that. I'm looking at the skills page. Oh, look, that's a 15.
You pull hard, and at the last second, there's separation. The damage from your allies seems to have made it so that you can just barely beats it, break free.
Nice.
Cool. So now do I have my movement still?
Correct.
Okay. Well, actually, no, because I know that even if I move back a bit, I'm still gonna be within its grasp because it could lash out pretty far at me. I'm gonna just scooch one to the side.
It will, now that it is free of the effects of shock and grasp, make its attack against you.
Is it?
Did it have its turn?
It hasn't had its turn yet.
Oh no, right!
That's right.
One more turn.
Yeah, 'cause it
You skip away,
acts as the
scot-free,
lair
scot-free. There you go. Anything
Man,
else?
That is it for me.
That does bring us to this creature, though.
Oh, there we
But
go.
now,
There we go.
but now there's a
All the-
big
all the
tasty
reactions are
res
like-
in front of it instead of
What is
tiny,
its
skinny,
intelligence score?
bony Ori.
And true enough,
Ours is
it
like,
sees this
"Come at
huge
me."
res.
Uh-oh.
It just released this piece of bacon, and now it sees the entire hand. Really
I'm a
keenly aware.
steak.
It is, however, it has been stabbed multiple times. Sensing everybody kind of reaching through, it is going to use Grand Pseudopod. So starting up at the very top, over where the Artificer is.
A question.
Yes,
Does this creature count as within 30 feet of me?
it is.
Okay. Because I'm going to use my reaction to cast Omen. Omen it.
Okay,
Minus 1d6 to its next thing.
Okay.
Minus 1 to its next
Against
attack.
the Artificer, it is going to be, it would have been, give me 1 second.
I will shake my fist at thee, sir.
It would have
Pursue
been
Holloway.
21, now it's a 20. And, for what it's worth,
That might be because it's an artificer build. They're
That's still
pretty
hit.
beefy.
as it lashes out
Oh,
and
God.
deals 11 points of damage to the Artificer. It's not 8. The next pseudopod lashes out at you, Cheshire. However, that is only going to be an 11.
Yeah.
It misses as you are just kind of grossed out by this creature. You just kind of give like the ew shoulder away from it. It then lashes out kind of, you can see the little tiles on the floor almost erupting up as tongues just move like a wave down the hallway. They strike at you next, Hayla. That is going to be a 27 to hit. That is going to be a total of 15 points of acid damage.
I'm
The-
acid resistant.
So that only does half. So 6 points of acid damage. Very nice.
Seven.
Very
As this tongue lashes out at you,
Seven.
it feels... Oh,
Half
7,
of
sorry.
15.
hits and feels similar to some of the sort of elements of kelp that are around your home. This is nothing for you, and so you shrug off parts of it. Against your sister, Ori, that is a natural 1, misses her. Against you, Alina, that is going to be a 27 to hit.
Yep.
Wow.
That is going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 points of acid damage. Against you, Minka, that is going to be a 20 to hit.
That hits.
That is going to be only 11 points of acid damage. As the tongues roll around the corner, they are going to strike into Rez for a 16 to hit.
No.
Oh, just kind of going straight across.
I've got
Rez,
natural
too
armor.
strong, just bats it away. For you, Valis, it rebounds into you for a 19 to hit.
Miss.
And so not able to hit you either. Ori, last in the line of fire. The Grand Pseudopod lashes out at you for a total of 15 to hit.
Braced.
And so you easily knock it away, make your attack roll.
Oh wait, I can't though.
Right, 'cause this is your
no,
move
I was
too.
just saying, like.
I thought you were saying-
No, narratively
No worries.
braced.
You stop. You were able to dodge out of the way. That is all that it can do for Grand Pseudopod. It cannot use its maiming bite when it uses Grand Pseudopod, and so that is its turn. That brings us to Alina.
All right.
And now it can take reactions again.
Yeah.
Because it has ended its turn.
The tongues again lashing, almost like moving earthworms coming out of the walls, the hall ceilings, the floors themselves.
Can
continue
I
to get
see like this corner from where I am?
I don't think so.
No.
You're here, right?
You
Yeah.
can see probably like res.
If somebody had destroyed that
creature.
barrel,
Can I see
maybe.
here?
With the
A
barrel
solid
probably
effort
not.
was made.
Okay. Alina's going to Misty step to like in front of Alice, I guess, and
Yep,
then,
you can
and
do
then
that.
take a couple steps back.
Right.
Boop, and then boop.
With those couple steps back, you do provoke an attack
Yeah.
of opportunity. That
Can't
is
be
going to
helped.
be a 25. Sorry, a 15 to hit.
No.
Okay, you move out of the way.
And Therese, she's gonna be like, go ahead and take a couple steps back, buddy. Let's do some fire on this. And then she is going to go ahead, do a little pew pew pew, do some Eldritch blasting at the face.
Okay.
That is a D3. Just gonna go ahead.
Why
and,
is it in
there we
there?
go. It has no home.
Where's a D3 to go?
I put it with the D20s because I thought I wouldn't grab it automatically.
Cease.
Okay, we got a
First that D3.
14, a
It's a miss.
15,
Miss.
and a 29.
That is a hit.
So that is gonna do
Do-do-do-do.
exactly. Ooh, max damage for a so that's 15 points of force and 5 fire.
Only half the amount of force, but the fire does the full amount.
Yeah.
This creature really looking rough now. As you strike into it, hitting the actual face of it, you see one of the eyes just fold in and kind of melt into the head and go dark. It's starting to show signs of wear.
Okay. So that's Alina's turn, and then so then now it's Raz's turn. He's gonna be like, got it, and he's going to take a big beefy step back. His wings are in the way, but
Yeah.
we'll say just he's back. Okay.
Okay.
He's gonna attempt to tuck himself into the corner so that people can shoot past him.
Okay, no problem. He
Um,
tucks in. One of the tongues lash out, but he just swats it away
yeah.
again.
The barrel
And
there.
now he's gonna use his little fireball situation. which
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up now.
Cast fireball right at Ori's feet. Damn.
It's not fireball, actually.
I know, but it would be
It's
so cool.
Bolt.
flame.
Oh.
All right, and so this is multi-attack again. So we got a 28 to hit.
That is a hit.
So this one's 26 plus 9. Man, he's got big damage. 11 points of fire damage.
But it is the full amount.
Second one is 16 to hit.
That is a miss, unfortunately.
And then the third one, another 16.
That is a miss.
Sorry, Alina.
But that one hit does the full amount of damage. The fire crackling into the door. You can see part of the tongue suddenly just alight. It just licks it back in to extinguish the flame. But anything else?
Yeah, Raz is gonna be like, guys, fire is good. In case you didn't know.
good, guys! That is Rez's turn. That brings us to Cheshire. Minka, you are on deck.
I don't like any of this that is going on. And Cheshire is going to look at all of this and then say, this is so gross. And she's going to cast Phantasmal Force.
Okay.
So I need it to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
Okay.
Smart is a mimic.
Yeah, another.
5.
Not that smart.
Fails.
Damn, I'm sorry.
I am going to create the illusion that there's another mimic eating it, and they are consuming each other.
Ooh, Ouroboros style.
Okay. Where are you putting this mimic?
In the
So this is an illusion that takes root in the mind of the creature.
Yep. Where are you making this mimic illusion appear?
I mean, I assume the mimic just around me, like the walls.
Okay, so like something just like kind of right in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
I can deal 1d6 worth of damage, psychic damage, with this illusion. 2.
Which deals only half the amount that you want to. but if every
My
little
brain
bit counts,
hurts.
that does too.
One of
Anything
its
else?
4 brain cells dies out.
That is your turn. You defeat its massive intellect, which may be a slightly smaller victory overall. But you're
That's
staying
like
right where you are?
25%.
All right, provoking no attacks of opportunity. That is your turn. That brings us to Minka.
Okay, so just like shocking things has been working really well. So we're just gonna repeat that. So considering that everything has moved away from me, I will once again approach the barrel.
Okay.
Oh, so sorry.
I have sleeves.
Yeah, sometimes.
You approach this barrel. This barrel looking bigger than the other barrels. This seems to be the alpha barrel. It's
Yeah.
kind of confident now.
This barrel bested me.
You do take an attack of opportunity
I do.
from the one behind you as you can move. That is only going to be 13 to hit.
That does miss.
Okay, so you step out of the way. Go ahead and make your attack roll.
I didn't miss the thing this
Okay.
time. Awesome. And it's a 17 is the number.
That
we're
is a
looking
meets a
for?
beats it if it's 17.
It is a total
Mm,
23.
That hits.
Excellent.
It's a pizza.
Hiya! 10 points of lightning damage.
All right, 10 points of lightning damage, and suddenly the tongues that are kind of lolling out of all the surfaces go a little bit slack. It is like this creature not able to be as reactive as it was before. Anything else?
Yes. So that will be that. Seeing that Ori is now out of it, people are in there doing their thing. There's no one else really in the immediate vicinity. So Minka will. Oh, it's an action to throw it. Damn. I'm gonna throw a rock at the wall, but it's an action to throw it.
Beat rock with rock. Anything else, Minka?
I will turn around and shoot the wall behind me.
Okay. You go ahead, you electrocute this barrel, just shattering it in front of you, and then you turn around and you throw a mote of fire at it. Go ahead and roll.
Is this barrel gone?
Yeah.
I think that was 15 because I
It
can't.
feels good, but it doesn't
does,
look
yeah.
super good. It just kind of goes off into the darkness. Anything else, Minka?
So that was my movement, my action, and my bonus action. I will feel triumphant.
All right, you feel
Free
triumphant.
action.
Did you cast a
It's
magic
a
missile
free
out of
action, and
darkness?
you don't need to earn it. That brings us to Hayla.
Okay. I am going to. First of all, everybody's moving super slow around me. And I'm kind of like. And I'm gonna make my way downtown to the across from the mirror, like in the doorway.
Near,
Yeah,
like near Valis.
You want to be
Yeah, I
all
want
the
to
way
be
in the room?
Okay,
Alright, you're
so
in the
right
room
there.
here, and you have about 25 movement left.
You also
Okay.
have a clear line of sight.
Yes, I don't need the movement at the moment. I am going to. I don't know what the order is for this. I'm going to use my longbow
Okay,
to hit the mirror with an arrow.
okay.
But I have Colossus Slayer that
Yeah.
I want to use.
Yeah.
And then I also want to use an extra attack.
Okay, so
We forgot that rangers have extra attack.
yeah, so make the attack first, and then if it hits, you can use Colossus Slayer, I believe.
Did you
Mirror
also
or
want
the
to
creature?
use your savage attack?
I don't know how to use that in this.
The creature,
That's
which
okay.
is
Well,
upon
so go ahead
the back
and roll
of the
and
mirror.
we'll go from there.
I
The
believe.
creature, the face.
Okay.
Nice, okay.
11.
So 11 to hit. Oh, so that was the damage
Nope,
you want to
sorry.
do. Yep.
13 to hit.
13 is a miss, unfortunately.
Okay.
So you fire, or you kind of throw an arrow at this creature, unable to strike in. You have a second attack, though.
Okay, so try again.
Yep.
Damn.
Fucking Christ. I got a natural 1, so I have a 10.
No, it doesn't matter. It's a 1 is a 1 in combat.
God, I'm
So
just,
go ahead, roll a d100 for me.
Oh no.
I'm just flubbing it all over. Is that this one?
It's that one and also this one.
Oh, don't shoot me,
One
please.
is the 10, one is the ones. Don't shoot the mirror.
That's a 56.
Don't shoot the mirror either.
56.
Okay. With the 56, you fire, and in this moment, this is right as Ori kind of like moves aside to Ori, you do catch this arrow in the arm.
I'm
Can you
not
roll-
sorry.
I thought
Can you roll- Part of it may not be so accidental. Can you go ahead and roll damage for that?
What, one more time? So you
Go ahead and roll damage for that. You do not need to apply Colossus Slayer, but you can if you wish.
Please don't. I'm not a colossus.
Oops. I'm gonna apply Colossus. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm just gonna assume that I went charging in, like, well, I
Guns blazing,
shot,
yeah.
assuming I was gonna hit.
Yeah,
and I was like,
absolutely.
let's get
I
pumping.
love that. Absolutely.
So
So-
is Ori below his HP maximum?
Yeah.
Hell
Okay.
yeah.
So
add a D8
I
to this
do-
roll.
Roll 1 of
Wait, like,
as well.
So
I
have
mean,
a
I've
4, I'm
taken
gonna roll
damage.
one
Yeah,
If
more.
that's
yeah.
yeah. Not like my HP max
just can't
hasn't
be a
been.
full-
My HP hasn't been altered though. My max HP.
Yeah,
rather.
that's fine.
Very. It's just an extra 1 damage.
Oh, easy.
So-
How much damage total?
5.
There you go. It just kind of.
You still have one more
glances through
attack.
Your arm.
Yes, I do. I have,
You have one more action. If you want to attack
Yes.
again, you can, yeah.
all right. Third time's a charm.
There you go.
You got
go ahead.
this.
Make it, and you, yeah.
Am I in range for? Well, no, I can't move anymore, right?
Yeah, you can.
You
You
have
do
more
have
movement if
25
you
more
want.
feet of
Can I
movement.
reach the mirror?
You, 5, 10.
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm gonna be like,
Said
wow,
25
I'm
to
just
hit.
ass with these arrows today, and switch to my trident.
Okay.
I feel like maybe this will work.
As a hasted creature, sure, no
Real
problem.
cool.
You can switch over to the trident. You kind of just
Oh,
drop
can you
the
not
arrows
do
to the
that?
side.
He's allowing it, so you're
Yeah.
fine.
So go ahead, roll your final attack.
Do I do the
It's the +4.
21?
That is a hit.
Nice.
So that is a hit with the flame trident.
Are you using one hand or both hands?
Both hands.
Nice. So go ahead and roll this one.
Not any of those.
It's because it's a versatile.
6.
Right.
6. All right. So I believe that is a total of 9, and then I believe you add fire damage as well.
Yes.
The 9 damage only does half as much as you would expect.
So, okay, so you rolled the d10, and now you get to roll your 2d6.
That was 2d6. That sounds nice.
Yeah, for
But,
the sword
this
is a phase.
So this is the fire, yeah, exactly.
4.
4. Okay, and that does the full amount.
Nice.
So you rush, fire 2 arrows, and as those do not hit, you just drop this bow and rush in with your trident. Tried and true, you stab home. There is this of fire that catches into this door, but that is your turn, Hala.
Yes.
That brings us to the NPCs. So in his corner now, just furious with missing, he's going to take 2 attacks against the walls. The Artificer will hit both times. That's 18s on both. For the first one, as he slashes in, there is a burst of butterflies behind as they deal 10 points of slashing damage, half to 5. With the second one, they're dealing 6, 10 points slash to 5 again. But with each of these kind of bursts, there's an explosion, and there is just butterflies now filling this corner. That is all that they can do, though. For Ori's sister, everybody has kind of run away. They are going to move behind Minka, kind of running over to where Minka is, and then seeing everybody, and Minka seeing you kind of shoot fire over at the walls. No question asked, they will turn, and you can see now some of the scales beginning to kind of peel away and become a little bit more jagged along the staff. There is a mode of fire, and they cast Fireball against this maze. That is going to be a 0 on their dexterity saving throw. And so...
I'm glad the maze did not dodge.
Yeah, that'd be amazing if it did. That is 26
like
points of fire
like
damage.
everyone gets popped up in the air.
This creature looking really rough after that explosion of fire. You can see the stone wall just lose its shape, and you are looking at this ooze, green, almost pallid flesh that is translucent. There is no bone behind it, but you can see squirming little worms, tongues, teeth, other organelles, eyes just floating and moving about the space. This creature is in bad shape and no longer able to fully keep its form. All of you now are seeing elements of the stone flicker into flesh and then back into stone. It's looking rough, but that is both of the NPCs. That brings us to Valis.
Alright, so I will walk towards its face.
Okay.
And just attack it twice.
Okay, make your attack rolls.
Natural 20.
Okay.
So I guess I'm smiting.
Get it.
Go ahead and roll damage on that.
Is this thing a
Fiend undead.
fiend or undead?
It is not.
Okay. In that case, I will just roll.
You have not seen
Just a
a
rumor.
single bone.
What about the teeth?
Technically, yeah, I suppose.
It's
These
double the
teeth are made
damage
out
on the
of,
dice, right?
Mosquitoes.
Wooden planks. Mosquitoes for teeth? What the
No,
fuck?
I don't know.
Like the tooth sinks into you and then it just bursts.
I think
into
we
a
need to
billion
go to
mosquitoes
break.
that are already bitten.
We
6
need to unpack that.
6 magical slashing.
Okay.
Oh crap, I missed the die roll.
I was thinking of the joke about the mouthful of bees.
So-
but
7 magical slashing.
Okay.
And
Not
then 32 radiant.
32 points of radiant
Damn.
damage, and that deals the full amount. This creature, as you do this, roars, and all through the hallways it echoes. It comes from the cracks in the walls and the elements of the stone. This creature is still alive, but barely. There are little bits of rock that kind of crumble and fall. For some of you, around the walls, you
Are
can
we gonna
see
be-
doors shimmer into existence briefly, and then kind of shimmer back
I was
out.
gonna-
Anything else?
Yeah, second attack.
I hope that it doesn't go like
Damn.
prolapsed anus on us.
Ew.
What was that?
A miss.
Okay.
But
If I have to unpack the mosquito teeth, then you have to unpack
I'm
my
saying,
teeth
like,
instead.
if we're inside this thing when it dies,
I am
it's
hoping
But-
and praying we get thrown up.
as I move towards
It's
it,
I would need to
illusory.
take pooped out. I don't know.
sorry, give me 1
I
second.
think it's
Why?
illusory based on what Joe
Can
said.
I use these?
I hope we just punch open its side and step out.
So as I move towards it,
Yeah.
I like your idea. The swords just score across the dragon as the swords follow me, and they all make their attacks. That's gonna be 4 hits from the first volley and
Hmm.
2 hits from the second. A 16 doesn't hit, right?
No.
Okay. So that's 6 hits. So that will be 6. 12 plus. Those are good rolls. That'll be a 42 regular old slashing damage.
And Velas, that's only half as much as you would expect, but tell us how it happens. 'cause
Hell
that is
yeah.
rough.
So
I have
I
15 points
Hell
left.
yeah.
I approach the face, my swords are just following me, scoring across, and I, lost in the fervor of battle, yell, I, Valis Birchbillow, with thy flora and fauna as witness, swear this oath to ye ancients.
It's its aura farming over here.
As you run across the space, these swords moving around like a whirlwind of steel. It slashes, just scores, and at first it is sparks going off stone, but as this creature crumbles, these sparks give way to just gouts of this ooze that is just swirled across the space. You all hear the acid as it spits, and then around all of you, the stone becomes ooze, and all of you are just immersed as the gravity takes over and the ceiling just across everybody. Can everybody make dexterity saving throws, please?
Gross.
This is against magic
It
effect.
is not. It is against getting drooled
Oh no.
Natural
Oh, and you do not
no.
get drooled on.
Wow.
It's out of the way.
a high
And-
Pasted, it is easy for you.
25.
Easy for
I
you
just
as well.
chew through it like Jello.
Rez gets
25.
Easy for you.
Rez gets a dirty 20.
Oh, Rez just steps to the left.
21.
Minka?
10.
Minka. As this acid saliva just droops onto you, you do take a minimum 4 points of damage. As it barely kind of stings into you. The rest of your allies just dart out of the way, and as the ooze just melts down the wall, you can see pale, very clean stone. This is actual walls and floors underneath what must be hundreds of gallons of this ooze-like substance that just burns as it goes down the walls and kind of pools up. For many of you, you imagine spending too long here would not be ideal. And for many of you who are over, actually I would say just Cheshire and the Artificer, directly behind the Artificer, the wall becomes a door, and you can see the hall that you all passed into to get to this place. For you,
Over here?
Valis, for you, Valis, for you who are in the main kind of chamber, as that face dies, as you just slap chop this entire space to death, you can now see the mirror slowly revolves around, and the soul mirror is facing you. Or you can see the space that you could stick that mirror blade into and turn this, and if you were to turn it to the left, and this, like many of the other ones that you have interacted with, doesn't seem jammed. This is very clean by virtue of the fact that it has been
In like an
submerged in
acid
an
wash.
acid wash. You can just stick the blade in and turn it.
Is Billy still in this mirror?
Yeah.
Do we have to...
And he's like, wait, how do we get her out?
She's in the mirror.
Can we like see her?
Yeah.
Does she seem okay?
Billy just seems sleepy. After this long ordeal, Billy tuckered out. You imagine that you could just reach in and pull Billy out.
I do that.
Oh, easy enough. You pull Billy free.
And while she's sleepy, I hug her. More pride.
She goes back
Somehow,
in the mirror.
still.
Put me back in.
Oh, no problem. Because,
It's not a non-consensual thing. It's more just like,
yeah,
it's okay.
because it is 8:45 and a good place for us to take a break as the ooze kind of down the walls, and you all consider your next steps. We are going to step away for a quick break, and we will be back. There is a countdown on your screen. We will be back at the end of it. See you then. And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, welcome to D&D. You're playing 2 now.
So threatening.
For all of you, you have defeated the Maimer of the Maze, this huge mimic that had coated and taken on the form of a stone maze that could then shift elements of this around. Although much of those elements disappearing as these stone hallways, a little bit smaller in scope than the entirety of the structure that you're seeing. And behind Cheshire and the Artificer, the hallway has opened up back to the main building that you came from. Alina, you pulled Billy out from the mirror, rescuing her, or you now regard this mirror directly in front of you.
Cool. And you said that I can see kind of where it needs to align?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the next mirror and align it for the seal. Breaking the seal.
For
That
you,
thing.
It's easy to break the seal. You're practicing.
It's a
breaking
commitment
seal.
for the rest of the night, though.
You do feel like you'll have to do it again, though. But
It's okay, I can probably do it about
you
6
stick
times.
the sword in, and it moves very smoothly.
practiced.
This is the cleanest of the mirrors that you've turned. And as you change it and you feel it click into place, all of you can see there is a shimmer in the air and now a line of purplish kind of glimmering energy that is directly from the mirror straight. It passes through elements of the walls and seems to trace back towards the chamber that would house that ritual. From that element of magic, there is a feeling of magic energy that radiates off of it, almost dangerous. You get the sense that you probably don't want to touch it directly. Almost like a microwave. You get the sense that you won't disrupt it, it will disrupt you.
Alina is going to guide Billy under, like, we're gonna just kind of
You gonna play Limbo?
we're gonna
Dangerous
backpack
Limbo?
her. Yeah, what's that movie with Catherine Zeta-Jones, like, doing the
She dips in
entrapment?
I like the idea.
They're gonna entrapment
I
it.
like the idea that Alina does that and then comes up. It's like, that was great, Billy. And Billy's head's just.
Laser.
But-
If it's anything but her head, I brought regenerate.
There you go.
Is there anything else in this room after all the ooze? Is this has any objects still left in the room that we're in?
So you look around, and as you turn, Alina just walks right in front of you, kind of pulling Billy underneath. Can you make, just for fun, an athletics or acrobatics check?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just drop Billy on her face.
It's an 8.
It's an 8.
Does Billy get to make a
this-
check?
Is this a saving throw or a check?
It's a check.
Okay.
It's about to be some nonsense. Garbage nonsense. Just want to get out of here with my best friend.
Too bad.
You duck underneath, and with an 8, with Billy, you kind of just like, Billy just barely passes through an element of this ray, and you can see almost instantly Billy seems even more tired. Billy, in this moment, looks a little bit exhausted.
God damn it. Sorry, Kara.
And you're not sure for Billy if that's going to sink in or not. We'll let Kara decide that next week.
Sorry,
but-
Kara.
Billy will certainly have an opportunity to take a level of exhaustion.
She becomes heavier in Alina's arms, and Alina's like, everything
light-
is terrible.
Shifts and becomes more blue. And you imagine touching it again may do something different.
And it's emanating from the mirror, like a laser pointer out towards the center chamber.
Correct. Less like a laser pointer, more almost like a swirling mystical energy, but yeah.
Okay, so basically, yeah, like the reflection of light would be emanating in like a
Yes.
sort of ray like that. Okay. That hasn't happened with any of the other mirrors.
No.
That's weird.
Make an arcana check, Ori.
Why is this one doing
I would say
that?
make it at disadvantage.
Damn.
Was there nothing else in the room?
Oh!
Big investigation check.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty
It
good.
was a natural 20 and then a 15 on the dice.
Hey.
Let me just check. Because this
16.
I think it's, yeah. No, it's a 18.
Hey.
Got
You think
some-
about this, and sure enough, that is weird. It's not weird because it's different or there's something wrong with the mirror. In fact, this mirror, probably the cleanest of all of them, you get the sense that you're really close to finishing this.
So it's putting in some fail safes.
not putting in fail safes. The magic coming out of this mirror is so intense and so strong, it is tangibly changing the world around it. You get the sense that when the final one is complete, this magical beam will be so strong, it'll be like a laser. And it won't just be that you get tired going through it, it will physically hurt.
So, based on this, and now we're kind of focusing them all to the center chamber, are they all reflections of the same area that we're focusing into one to sort of open up this shift into the plane, which will also release this energy?
You imagine the energy is required to open that orb.
Okay, so the orb is separate from the energy that is being emanated from the mirror.
With an 18 and with your background, this is sort of where your knowledge is.
Ah!
Okay. And Minka
I
would
start
make her
eating
way
some
to
dirt.
be like just
Okay,
outside
forgot.
of this room,
Okay.
to be no longer in the ooze.
You sort of scurry the radiant light emanating off the back of the constellations that follow you, making it much easier for the rest of you to see the horror of the ooze that is kind of dripping down the walls. You can see tongues kind of sliding down in between the cracks, but no problem.
Cheshire is now waiting in the doorway.
Once all of the people that are at the table are close enough, so within 30 feet, Minka's gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds at
Okay.
5th level.
Very nice.
She'll first shift into chalice form, Mass Cure Wounds at 5th
Very nice.
level. So I will roll it on this and then roll the extra rolls physically.
Okay.
Because there are so many dice involved with everything. Okay, so everyone at the table heals a total of
I look maybe 10% off the top.
What?
Sable was asking.
22 points, and then Minka will take the extra 17 points for herself because she's from the chalice form because she is hurting.
The radiant light spreads off and away from you like millions of constellations just light up the hallway around you. For all of you who are hurting, there is relief that sinks in from this light.
How much was it?
22.
Thank you.
Can I do a thing? I'm gonna walk over to Ori, noticing that he is more damaged or more injured than the rest of the group after getting like 50-something damage.
Mechanically and flavor-wise, yeah.
And you shot me.
And I'm gonna be like, I'm so sorry, and I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds.
Oh.
Nice.
Oh.
Hold on.
What?
That comes with a little asterisk.
Apparently.
It's a 6.
Okay.
So I guess I heal you 6.
Cool.
And I help you stand up, assuming you were like crouched over. And purposefully, on my way back to the group, I step really hard on your foot and keep going.
So they help you up. There is this pulse of healing, and you're like, oh, and then it just
I
steps
am
right on your
Dealing
toes.
consequences for bullshit last week.
How injured is Ori still looking?
I'm alright. I'm like mechanically like 90%.
You do hear Ori kind of exclaim this suck in of breath as their foot is stepped on, but aside from that, not in terrible shape.
and I just carry on like I didn't mean to do it at all.
You walk right back past Ori and to the rest of the group.
Did a 14 investigation find anything in the room?
With a 14, you look around this space. It's immaculate here. Not a whole lot to find.
Can I assist with
Okay.
my eye for detail to spot any hidden clues or features?
Make an investigation check.
Does he get his thing?
No.
That's a different thing.
I
Yeah.
know.
But I believe that's a 27.
With the 27,
No, wait, sorry.
you look
22.
around a little bit better. How much?
22.
The 22, you find nothing that Valis didn't find, which is nothing.
As Minka's standing outside, like just thinking,
Making my way back as well.
a lot of what we saw was really ancient, and all that stuff is
Formian.
gone. Right. So like everything that was in the maze, there was Formian. All that is no longer here.
There are still other halls and things that are going off of this, and so there is more maze to explore if you wish. You don't see, because the halls have shifted,
Mm-hmm.
there is now a direct line behind the artificer behind where Cheshire was. If you went
Yeah.
back and into some of these halls, you could progress further into the maze if you want.
Okay, so there were sections of the maze that were real maze,
Yes.
and then just this core area, essentially, or this particular spot, it was Mimic.
Yes, and whole parts of the halls were Mimic.
Okay.
Those melt and kind of just become this ooze.
And then
Uh,
other parts were actual parts that
correct.
had been like integrated that it could move around as
Yes.
part of its body.
So,
Okay.
in character, I'm just gonna be like, do we do something with the mirror? Do we leave? There's a door. What are you guys doing next?
And so, for instance, you would imagine
Ori's
that doorway
reluctant to
still
say anything
in the
right
maze
now.
somewhere.
Alina,
You don't know that I
okay.
did it on purpose.
Ori's pretty insightful.
It's very insightful.
Basically,
yeah.
I think I was trying to figure out, is this room just really old?
Make a history check.
Alina with
I
Billy in her
love-
arms is gonna look
We're the
back
dwarf
at
when you need
Ayla
one.
and be like, "We're just gonna move on to the next room, and can you
Skull-
please
skull
not step on
cover.
anybody else?"
Did I
5.
step on somebody?
Okay.
Alina's just gonna be like,
With a 5,
Through some shit.
you
Don't have to
think
deal
back,
with that.
and
Lawful
you've
good.
heard of many things within the Feydark that may
I fucked up last week.
kind of link within this, and nothing in particular,
That's-
though.
that's
And
just
so it's
"Not
hard
really
to
what
tell.
lawful good means."
And with everything,
One mic.
For my
with everything so clean, it's like really hard to tell how old
Yeah.
this stuff is.
Okay.
I'll just accept it.
So we've done all of them now, except for the one that we have to wait.
Correct. You have about
Um,
45 minutes left until you can go back and access that room.
Do
I
you-
mean, I'll be clear.
Roughly.
You can go right now.
Yeah, but until this like cycle seems to be completing, it's
We-
gonna take a while.
One person can go right now.
I think we should maybe rest.
You can see Rez just kind of like looking around, all big.
Hmm.
One person could go right now.
Anyway, so do you think the maze existed first and then the mimic was put in it? Or do you think the mimic existed first and then the maze was built around it?
I would imagine that the maze was built first and then the mimic took residence in it, but that's just my assumption and I'm not an expert.
But do you think the mimic found it? Or do you think the mimic was put in it?
I would assume that it was put in it since this place has some intentionality within. These mirrors have been protected, but
Does anyone have any way of knowing where we are
Oh.
within the realm? Because we are not in this shattered sphere anymore, right? We went through a door and we
We
were
are.
somewhere
we're making
else.
our way back.
Now we
through.
are.
No,
Well, we are
into here. We were in the Fey
Feydark.
Dark.
here. We're in the Feydark, but
Here's
How
the
do we-
Fey Dark.
I'm sorry, we weren't here last week.
but we aren't like in the shattered sphere in the sense that this door here took us like somewhere far away, like
Correct.
a portal. So, Mike, does that make sense?
Oh,
we're not in
you
the
mean
shattered
like-
sphere. We're like,
Where in the Feydark we are and
yeah, where in Alberon are we?
Oh.
And if it's the Feydark, it's a reflection of somewhere
In the Underdark.
on Alberon.
I
Alina's
guess.
gonna call back. Well, we destroyed this like we've destroyed everything else, so I don't see how it matters.
It would probably still be somewhere underneath the Fields of Folly if it's where there was Formian activity, right?
What's Formian mean?
The corrupted giants that were cast out of the Ordning.
You don't look them in the eyes.
It's on the
was
wall.
just before
There was a
this.
mirror, not mirror, a face wall.
They have like a really big gross eye. And you
Yes.
don't want to look at it. It's like this.
Okay.
None
So
of
we're
this
probably
seems
somewhere
particularly
relatively close to where the Shattered Sphere is on the convergence of planes. Again, I'm not an expert.
I know about the
but-
Ordning. Javaris has told me many times about it.
You know, in detail.
I know more than
Order of
y'all.
the giants.
How dare you
When they
speak
say
to me?
Formian, you're like, oh yeah.
Oh,
at one
yeah.
point, they were the superiors to the hill giants, but they were cast out.
And we all
And, you
short
know-
rest from Javaris. Valis the Wise.
So Alina's had enough, and she's gonna bring Billy just back to the main area, and they are going to start short resting.
Yeah, I figured Ori is walking back to wait by the next door. until it's ready to go through and
So
take a
you
shortcut.
make your way back to the Pole of Plains, the central chamber, the chaotic nexus of many, many mirrors. And as you get back, you can see from several of these chambers that you have successfully completed, these lines of arcane energy trace out now. And all of them go back to the chamber where that ritual is. There is only one of these lines missing to make this ritual complete, the one coming from the room that you are all awaiting. You do note that some of these mirrors now, just mirrors, just reflections of this place, where before they peered into caverns and canyons and harbors and cities. Many of them are now just reflections.
Ooh, I wonder how the madam.
Does that mean, does that mean that the madam has, like, left? Is there, I'm kind of looking around, is there any sign of her presence?
Also, are all the rays the same color?
No. Well, there's a variety of chromatic rays that you can see. And from this room, you can only see, I believe, one of them at the moment, which is kind of this bluish color.
Mm-hmm.
But from where you are kind of peering over, you can see one is green, one is yellow. And they kind of twirl and shift and move. They're almost like auroras, but each certainly a primary color.
27.
With the 27,
Or sorry,
you look
24.
around. With the 24, you look around, you don't see any Madam of Dark Reflections. You don't see any gleaming eye beneath a dark fur hat.
I guess my question was more like the lack of mirror reflections into these other areas. Does that signify her presence?
Make an
being-
Arcana check at disadvantage.
Or like, yeah. Oh wait,
You don't need to roll
at
second die.
disadvantage. Yeah, I got it. It's a 1 and a 2.
Oh no.
No idea.
I'm pretty sure that everyone, they were mirrors all along.
New question.
And
You
the
see your
mirrors...
sister and the artificer both.
You had things to say about me
were
eating
mirrors
Cheshire will
reflect
song of
into the
breath
soul.
while we're here, so
Yes.
if you are using hit die, you can add an extra d10.
Thank you.
Before I rest,
Do you actually say that, Ori?
Yes.
Your sister and the artificer both turn. They look at you very oddly. And the artificer, I would say, actually looks at you and says, "Are you sure you're from the Magiocracy? You
Well-
show a startling lack of knowledge on magic."
Can we get through this ritual and then maybe unpack a lot of things?
Wreathed in these crimson robes, the other elf kind of nudges the artificer, and they both nod.
The two of you are well versed in magic.
The sister nods.
I have heard of a spell that is very color dependent, right? The different colors do different things when you cast it.
Yes, I've heard of this as well.
Do you think that has anything to do with the colors here?
It very well might. I don't think they correspond in the same way that you're thinking, but I would imagine each of the colors has a different effect.
I don't know if that would be important information at all, but
I wouldn't touch them.
I wasn't going to.
Do you think that maybe those are what are keeping the Guardian in place?
Well, if everything converges,
Or is that
you know, when you
Going
take
to-
a cool rock and you hold it to the light,
it's going
and
to focus
it
them
goes,
all?
yeah, you can either make something go from one color to many colors or the other way.
Right, okay.
Would all those effects together,
Right. Is
would it
goes-
all happen at the same time, or is it just kind of like a focused energy?
Are
Let's
you
sit
asking
down
me
and
now?
pull out
Because
the
I thought I was asking.
I'm asking. I think we're both asking the same
The elf
question.
turns to you and kind of like holds up a hand between you and says, "You're asking the wrong person. He clearly does not know. This is a tremendous amount of arcane energy that is focused on the sphere that is within that chamber. It is almost unbreakable, but with this amount of magic, I imagine it will open."
Do you think that will have a negative effect on the stability of the planes here?
I don't think they're tied together.
Okay, good. I just
Satisfied. Lay down to nap.
I just didn't want them. You know, we've seen a lot of places where a bunch of different planes have kind of smushed. I didn't want to accidentally unsmush them while we're all here.
I think something is going to happen when we complete the ritual.
Oh, certainly, but
Yeah, the container will open, and we'll fight the Guardian.
but what if it's not like a fight? We're assuming that the guardian means a creature of some kind.
Ori's sister says, what would it be
Careful.
without a fight? Certainly it won't be a musical competition.
You say that. You never know. But more. I guess we've seen so many strange things already.
Could be a riddle. There's
It
been
could
a
be a
lot
riddle.
of riddles.
But also, like, could it just be an effect?
It could be any of those things, but if we prepare for a fight, the others are easier to pivot to.
I hope.
Well, we've still got about 20 minutes until it cools down enough for us to try again.
Can you?
And I would suggest we don't go hastily.
I go hastily
Okay.
into the room with the fire.
Okay. You
So
walk over.
I approach it
Yeah.
because I was really distracted talking to
Do you-
chipmunks,
Sure.
and I want to just take a look and know what I see.
Valis, did you not listen to a word I just said?
Maybe
You walk down
let's
the
use
stairs.
our words first.
As you walk down the hall, you can smell this acrid smell, almost like a pungent industrial aroma, and you can hear and feel that the air is much warmer. Even as you make it halfway down this hall, you can hear the sounds of almost like jet engines just rising out of the ground in the space beyond, and you can see the door itself glows a dull red. It's very hot within this space. Are you opening that door?
Don't fucking do it. Don't you dare fucking do
It is, just as a reminder,
Valis,
it is
I would
literally red hot.
I
In
would
the
not
darkness of this space, it is something that provides dim light for 5 feet beyond.
Alina's
I'll
like,
keep it closed.
Alice, stop. Come take a nap.
Did you
Jeez.
not hear what I told you before? About how horrible and agonizing it would be to open that door and present us all with the inferno of death beyond.
Oh, you just want to look at the door.
Chipmunks in his ears.
Did
That was
we
more of a
ever
Billy line.
figure out? Oh, okay. So to recap, what we did learn about that room was that the walls have slots in them that something can be moved along. There is clearly some sort of mechanism that when you either step on something or enter the room, it sets off some kind of timer of we guess
Some
that
sort of
would
metallurgical
create
industry
the fire.
happening there. There's a
So
factory or something.
maybe we can. So there's things to move around in there, and there's a large central pillar and kind of like a round place to go around the room. We didn't see a mirror immediately, so in theory it's somewhere in there and hopefully protected from the fire.
So maybe we get a better look before anyone just opens hastily and causes another reaction like the last time.
I don't know why you're warning us. I was the one that set it up last time.
I'm just saying. I'm not saying that anyone
Well-
did.
I think it's more we're not 100%
Once again,
sure
I feel better.
what exactly set it off in the first place. So I don't know if it was the door opening or something stepping on something.
Let me see when it cools off if maybe there's something that would indicate how it's triggered.
I will say, you do remember Billy taking a step in. You didn't hear it because of the silence spell, but you saw Billy kind of descend a tiny bit.
Alina would never say
Likely,
so, though.
likely a pressure plate.
Most likely.
Alina's just gonna pat Billy like,
So we short resting?
"You short rest him, boys."
If you
Okay.
used hit dice to
Dee-dee-doo.
gain HP, you can add a D10.
Does it restore
What's the song?
spell?
It's one you've heard
Not for
before.
you, for me it
Valis,
does.
oh violent one.
Ooh, I like this one.
So you can all mark off a short rest.
And I think we reestablished this, but when we were in the volcano and we saw the fire lizards, I can turn myself into a giant lizard,
Correct.
but not a fire lizard.
Correct.
Yes.
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 I can just make
Fire
myself
lizard
pretend.
color.
I can pretend to be one, but I not actually.
Visually, you look like one. I have to look, but I believe it's outside of your CR range.
Now it might not be. At the time, it definitely was.
What is the range?
So,
Max CR,
yeah. Let me get back to the correct page because I was looking at the lizard.
because I believe it's 5.
I'm gonna
Oh, if it's 5.
check if the
I don't think
door
it-
has cooled
I think that's only
off
within moon
enough.
range.
So you go over, you can see the door slowly getting a little darker, still quite warm. But as you finish your long rest, or your short rest, if you take a long rest, it definitely gets cool. But at the end of your short rest, still hot to the touch, but you can open it.
All right.
So
At
during
just
the short
about
rest,
the end of the short rest, Rez back into his little self, and he's like, "Oh man."
during the short rest, I'm gonna go talk to Hayla.
Okay.
Hey, we're usually not so many of us, but where are you headed?
Hopefully back home.
Where's home?
Max 1.
Hyacinth.
How did you get here again?
I was at home, and then I picked up this shiny mirror, and then I was trapped inside another mirror for like 2 days. And then you guys came along. And then chaos ensued. And here I am.
It's kind of our shtick.
Yeah.
Where is Hyacinth? Do I know where Hyacinth is?
Make a history check at disadvantage.
Do I know?
No. There's no reason for you to know.
Oh yeah, it's that place where assholes come from.
Says the dude who tried to go into the booby trap.
13.
I didn't.
Hard to tell.
That's
Maybe
also
a
kind
flower.
of our shtick.
Javaris, have you heard of
Said
Hyacinth?
not to go.
Are you just asking, or are
Who's
you
Billy?
using legend lore?
I'm just asking. I don't got time.
You just ask. And they say, "Ah, Valis, who is a friend? Thank you for checking in with me. And not even at a normal time. Hyacinth, a fine flower. Not a strong smeller, but one that can come in an array of different colors.
You know of a city named after the flower. A city
It's
namesake is
important
the
to
Hyacinth.
understand the basics. That reminds me, Valis, do you know about plants?"
So is he just standing in front of me having this conversation?
He's like holding this like thing of beads up and
I'm
just kind of talking
I'm
to
just
them.
awkwardly waiting.
I
Alright,
open
sorry.
the door.
Might be a while.
How's-
I want to open the door carefully and try to get a look at the traps.
So
Set up.
What if?
So this so I'm gonna stop if he and then because I don't want to be too rude. Sorry, I was just talking to my necklace. I do that sometimes. The others also give me that look when I do that. Okay, I've never heard of your city. But if we can get out of here, we can maybe try to help you get home. You're in Everest right now. Do
I don't know
you?
where that is?
never heard of that before.
I have spells that can get you to a different plane, but not right this second.
Is Hyacinth in like the other side of this world, a different plane of existence?
You have no idea. Your world is very small. Your world is this floating island
Under the
in this
sea.
endless ocean that is surrounded by darkness. And outside of that, you haven't been anywhere. You, like, people tell stories about, like, other oceans and other places, but I would say make a history check. Flat.
Is that a D20?
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
Okay. With a dirty 20, one of the things that you did hear from a number of different people is that long ago, there were people within your community who left. And not as part of the selection ritual that happens every now and then, really as part of the selection ritual, not that you know this, but it's literally the darkness around this world opening and a person being offered up through it.
Oh my gosh,
yes,
it is
very
the
much.
claw. The
It is the
claw.
claw.
Oh my god.
But not in this way. They were able to find the way that it was described to you is a movement of water that went against the way that water should move. And by following this, they went somewhere else, somewhere
did a
far
jig.
beyond, to a place that they called the material plane. and far away from what they call your home, the plane of water, this is something very different.
Okay.
And you imagine that you're probably there on the material plane. That's far from home.
I was just about to say this. Like, I know you just said it, but I was gonna just also mention that we were on the material plane because this person, you said it was a
Triton.
Triton?
Yeah.
Very blue, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, you're on Everest on the material plane.
If you're not from this plane and you have something from home, I can get you back home with magic. I'm pretty good at it.
Is Alina's magic strong enough to do that? Is that like something?
You haven't really seen a lot of Elena's magic. It's powerful magic. You've seen this lot cast a number of spells, some of them quite powerful, but they do it in a weird way. They might have the power. You kind of like look at Ori, you look over at Cheshire. You don't know that Alina will be able to get it off without interference
But
from the
such a
rest of the
spell
party.
does exist
Yes.
for how
Oh,
far
yeah.
I need
And it's
to get.
on
Yes.
my spell list.
Yes.
I was just asking out of character.
Yeah. It's definitely within the realm
The
of
spell
magic.
exists, and Alina can cast it, which is what she's telling you, whether you believe her or not.
Well, I get that you have the spell. I wasn't sure if the distance, if that was an issue. Like,
No, specifically, this is a spell where distance doesn't matter. It's called plane shift. You shift between planes.
okay,
I just need something of yours from home.
everything of mine is from home.
Yeah.
All right, everybody ready?
No, not ready yet. Stop.
We're still short resting.
Is the puzzle?
You go and touch it. Still high. You have to let go.
Is the puzzle next something I should be sticking around for, or should I be teleporting home whenever the fuck?
I
Like
would
you
say-
Sable out of game.
I would say
Yeah.
wait until the end of session, and then if an opportunity presents itself, teleport yourself home. Otherwise, we can kind of figure out a way to narratively make it happen.
Okay.
So to close the
Like,
conversation,
Hannah's
Niles would
not
just
super
say,
enthused about using her 7th level
Yeah,
spell
oh, for
slot,
sure.
but
But
like,
assuming that you don't die,
Yeah.
going home very much on the table for you.
well, it looks like you helped in the last fight. Thank you, and if you continue to help us, once we kind of get out of our immediate danger, we can try our best to get you home.
I think I can live with that. I will do what I can to help, although I'm not the biggest fan of two of your friends.
You see
I look at
everybody
my
turn
necklace.
to the Ori, including Ori's sister, including this artificer.
I literally
Ori,
haven't
there
done
is this
anything.
Assumption. Everybody in this group, you feel suddenly the walls kind of shift, and you see
I'm opening the
you
fucking
feel
door.
like
Oh,
comes down the way.
Or you can't even hear this conversation I'm having, so you're
Well,
getting
he,
all like.
he can read our lips. Sorry.
Is he even looking at us?
Who
Yeah.
did you look at when
I
you
am-
said that?
I
So
am
when you
talking
said
only to you, and not to
I am
anybody else.
Very perceptive.
Ori's like skill set is about reading lips
His
and
whole-
like,
that's his whole-
But is he even
eavesdropping
looking?
is even without it probably able to pick up on it.
Bananas.
Yeah,
So-
it's literally his whole skill set. Yeah.
which
That
I'm good
defeats
at
part of my
exactly
character
those
traits.
things.
Yeah,
Like-
that's how D&D typically works.
Damn,
is there's
damn,
things
that's
designed to
crazy.
like, you know,
If it makes you feel any better, I have literally zero magic.
Okay.
It's kind of
So-
why the party keeps beating up on him. Or like, we've gotten to a point where we all kind of like him now, but he ain't got no magic. Alina's not saying this.
Bunch of
Yeah.
magic.
Valis will say,
Magicists.
which two?
The
Valis is not perceptive, so he does not know. He has not seen it.
tiny gremlin and the curious douchebag.
for just a moment you hear, "Hey!" as you say,
It
tiny
wasn't-
gremlin, and
Oh,
Rez
not
just
that one.
goes, "I'm an imp."
Nope, not you. I think you're fine.
Talk about me
All
and
right.
Cheshire.
Okay. On behalf of the Wandering Hearts, I apologize for what they did.
I
but
don't. I didn't do anything.
Oh, I'm smirking like fucking crazy. that
Alina's
I'm getting
gonna say,
an apology.
hand in front.
Alina's gonna say, "Listen, we are a team, and if you
The
want me
madam
to send
trapped
you
her in one of her
home,
mirrors,
you'll be
probably
more
did something
respectful to my
terrible.
friends."
I don't think pointing out that I'm not a fan of your friends is disrespectful.
Stepping on
Agree
my
to
foot,
disagree.
shooting me in the back. Those are pretty disrespectful
Was
things
it
to
on
do.
purpose? Good grief.
I'm going to finish this so I can leave this whole situation and deal with all of the other bullshit that I'm dealing with right now.
The door you open
Yes.
this door. slowly.
Wait, can I ask a side question?
Yeah.
Are we ever going to talk about what's her face, the Ori's sister trying to shoot us with fire?
So you did see her do it again, and when she cast that spell in that area, she specifically excluded the people who she didn't want to hit. That included Minka. That included other
Okay.
members of
I
your
thought she
party.
was shooting the party, and I was
No,
like, that
and so
seems weird.
she has the ability to cast an area
Yes,
spell and choose for people not to be affected by it.
Got it.
That's part of being a sorcerer. So for her, she was doing that, but not to hit you guys. Or you open the door. For you, you can see this chamber, a hallway that is 10 foot wide, 10 foot tall ceilings. They loop back in around itself like a big concentric circle around a central space. You do see on the walls and the exterior these grooves of metal. You can see they are still kind of sizzling and hissing with the acid and the fire that has receded away. You hear no ticking. Looking down, you can see very clearly a plate that Billy had stepped on. You had heard it, or you had not heard it, but you imagine it makes an audible click because it's quite large. What are you doing?
I'm gonna, seeing that there's a very obvious trap right in front, I'm going to scan ahead
Make an investigation.
for any other traps that may set off this horrible thing.
It's a 19.
Nice. That's 27.
Okay. With the 27, you look down at the ground here, and you can see, almost like they separate away in your mind's eye, several of these stone tiles that are not quite as they should be, just a little bit lower, a little bit high, but pressure plates. And you can see almost like a chessboard pattern across the floor here. Many of these would start this process. You get the sense that, like, anything being placed on top of this would shift the walls enough to start this process. It's by design that it's so sensitive. It's also very inconvenient for getting to the other side. And as you kind of look, you can just barely see in some of the cleaner parts of the metal bits of reflections around this central pillar. On the far side, where you are standing on the door, on the opposite side of this column of stone, there are levers. And you can see them reflected. Make a
Engineering check.
That's kind of what I want to say. Make a flat intelligence check.
Not terrible. Above average.
Okay.
That's a 15.
Okay. With a 15, you are not 100% sure of how these work, but you do know with these grooves in the walls, it is likely that you need to drag these in a way that would probably shift something and reveal a mirror in the space. With a 15, hard to tell how that might work.
All right. So it looks like there's traps all along here. Terrible. But all the way at the end, past the column, it looks like there's some levers on the other side, and I think it probably does something with the tracks, because I don't see the mirror anywhere, but I bet it's probably along one of these tracks, or it will shift things kind of along. I don't know, but I can get closer, but I would probably not be able to solve this puzzle.
Question. Are all the levers in one spot, or does it look like the levers will also move?
Well, they're all along a central column.
Are
But-
there any of those grooves next to them?
Can I see from here that?
Hard to see the wall. Yeah.
Couldn't we send in a flying creature?
That's why I was going to go down further.
I can come with you. I can fly. Or Raz.
All right, well, be careful there.
Noted.
And
Fly.
maybe follow a little behind in case there's something ahead. I'll try to keep an eye.
Okay.
So the three of you, like in formation, just flying down this.
I'm
10
gonna
foot
do.
I have to-
I'm gonna do
I do have to
exactly what Ori
land.
wanted me to
Okay.
do.
I do have to land every 30 feet, but I'll map out a spot where I'm not going to touch any of the pressure plates.
Okay.
Um,
So for you,
or I guess every
the cloak
60
kind of
feet.
billows
rather.
out. If it's 60 feet, you and kind of glide around the corner, almost like a paper airplane with a perfect throw. You just
Because
through.
I can dash through. and
You,
still be able
Alina,
to
and Rez have to
see.
follow like kind of slow to match Ori's pace,
Yeah.
but you are able to go around, and to the corner, you can see now coming into view these 3 levers in a almost stacked on top of each other. Each one is slotted into a separate groove that kind of traces along the walls in ways looking almost like a transmission of a car. You would imagine that bringing these to the right positions within this interior circle will open up something to reveal this mirror. That would require moving along the path and being very mindful about where you step.
From this position, then, so it's like lever, lever, lever. Those grooves, do they continue along? Like, does one of them go down the hall that we just came down along the groove?
They just
that
go
was
around
there?
within, within that ring of hallways. They just go along the exterior of that, and so they can all be dragged along. And
Oh,
they can
okay, so
actually
they can
link
go
into each
all
other
the
as
way
well.
around. Okay, so those levers need to go to areas that probably have some sort of like locking slot or something.
Probably.
Did I see any? Are there other hallways from here? Because now we're in like the center column.
You haven't seen one.
Okay, so it's literally just like center column
Yep.
here. Okay. I don't know. I think if we move these, it'll probably open up new pathways, but it might also burn us alive. Are there? Oh, sorry.
I don't want to get burned alive.
No, me neither.
No.
Um,
I'm not
With
super
this shield
awesome
I
at
have.
puzzles. Yeah, maybe.
Are
we
there
can-
any like there are no symbols along the levers or anything?
I don't think you're in there with us.
No separate
Oh, right.
colors or
Yeah,
anything
there's
like
that.
that.
Alina's gonna be like, we should probably go back and talk to the group because if we put our heads together, we can figure it out better than just you and me.
Right.
Rez will say, okay, but hear me out, right? There's 3 levers, and there's 3 of us. We can all fly.
Well, actually,
That is an option.
can you get us away back to the door if something were to happen?
I mean, yeah, I can thunderstep us.
And Rez,
Yeah.
you can do something, and then if you get burned alive, you'll just kind of come back a little bit later, right?
Guy, I don't get burned.
Right, exactly. So you'll be fine.
And
Yeah.
you can pop into your pocket dimension and then meet back up with me
Yeah, for
Out there.
free. Easy.
for free. Yeah.
Should we at least see what these do with changing?
Yeah. Okay. Like we're gonna
Are
have to
there-
like hold hands. You cool with that? If we're gonna thunderstep out of here real fast.
Right, well, I just want... There are 3 levers here. But no indication of which one is going to be the correct lever, so you'd have to have some sort of prior knowledge, or there's got to be some other clues around here.
Yeah, I really think that we should put our heads together with the team.
Yeah, no, we should go back, you're right, but, I'm still... Is there anything else on this side that has, like, any... There's, like,
Make an investigation check.
no sort of, like, symbols or signifiers, or even, like, along the tracks, like, along the grooves,
Make an investigation.
rougher spots where it might... Natural 20.
With a natural 20, you turn around and looking at the interior inner wall of this space, you can see that there is a thin seam where the stone, not quite as it normally would be, there is space, and getting really close to it, you can feel the passage of wind. It's hotter wind. And so you would imagine the source of the flames within this, but as you look, there is also a little bit of a gleam, and you catch a glint of a reflection that is purple and not truly reflective. This is a soul mirror within.
Look in there.
And where the hole does not quite meet near the top and the bottom would indicate that whatever opens this would need to be at about chest height. So of these 3 levers, the only one that would probably work would be the middle one. That doesn't tell you where you would need to move it, but it at least tells you the correct lever.
Right, so it seems like it's got to be the middle lever, but I don't know where it would go, and that's clearly where the source of the burning inferno is.
But how many
also the
ways can the
sword.
level go? Can it go like up, down, or left, right, or?
It goes left and right from where it is, but there are places where you can see all the grooves intersect at T intersections, and so you could drag it along other tracks. It's almost like a railway system.
Like
Is it
your,
almost
like a
like-
shift stick?
Yes, very much.
Is it
like a
almost
shift
like though?
Like,
Like-
a stick puzzle? Where you have to get the stick all the
If
way
we're
through the thing.
so now that I know that this is the one, Ori's gonna grab it and just move it a slight bit to the side.
Alina's hand is on his shoulder, and
Okay.
I'm going to ready an action to cast Thunder Step if Ori or myself begin to be burned alive.
Phenomenal. Make a strength check or an athletics.
You guys are
I
gonna
cast
set
Fireball.
off the thing, and then we're gonna have to wait 4 hours to go back.
We're resting.
Athletics check.
You're not wrong.
16.
With a 16, you have enough strength to move this. It's hard to shift this metal along these paths, but you do. For you, you feel the vibration as Ori shifts this through. Just, are you moving it to the left or the right?
I just wanted to see, like, I'm gonna move it. So I'm facing. That's where we are.
Sure.
Right, or where the rest of the party is.
Yep.
Mirrors behind.
Correct.
I'm gonna shift it slightly to the left,
Okay.
just enough to see, because Ori's suspicion is that by shifting this, the whole thing is gonna start to shift.
And your suspicion is correct. As you move it just a little bit to the left, that seems to be the correct direction, and it's almost like the lever jumps out of your hand.
Oh.
You push it, and it
Oh.
begins to move away from you. Behind you, the walls begins to open, and you can see this mirror gleaming in front of you. It is a little bit rusted over. This is not going to be the easiest to move, and you can also see along the floors these runes begin to light up.
Oh.
You can hear in the walls.
Oh, get ready!
Yeah.
I'm gonna go try to set the thing.
So, Lori,
Okay.
you rush in.
going.
Alina follows in.
Yeah.
Rez follows in. All you at the back of the space just hear, oh, get ready.
I didn't mean to do that.
And Ori, you dash in. Ori, make a really important athletics check. As you plunge the sword into the base of the pillar,
Can I help him?
make it at advantage as you have Alina just kind of shouldering in behind you.
22.
With a 22 and with Alina's help behind you, and it takes a tremendous amount of effort, but throwing your entire body, Alina shoving you, and then at the last second,
Rez is like-
right in. The 3 pounds
It's
of
like that
Rez's
last
potato
little
body
click
is
in the
what
log.
you need to shift straight through, and you feel the mirror turn. It only takes you 1 round. And so now, if you all dash in a mad dash, as 12 more seconds tick by,
Well, I just want to thunder step us out.
you
If it's clear that
thunderstep
it's
out.
done, we're out.
As you thunder step out, the 12 seconds tick by and the flame ignites behind all of you. But more importantly, for all of you, you can see in the space straight down the hallway, there is a solid beam of arcane energy
Or it's just
that now
like-
traces straight back into where the chamber should be. And in that space, you can hear a loud of metal cracking. And there is as air ruffles past, there is arcane energy that sinks in, and you smell this overwhelming smell of summer and of wine and of just the night's air. And then there is a of wind, and you can smell winter, and you can smell just the cold tang of just force magic, and then a final wind. And it is like peanut butter for some of you and ketchup for others. For some of you, you smell the tart ring of cherry. It is just a chaos of smells. But that wind over you, and the fire ignites behind you. You can shut the door, keeping yourself safe. There is a reverberation of thunder that ricochets out of the room
It's just
right
like-
before you shut the door.
And Alina,
Glad my
once
hunch
they're
was
out,
correct.
Yeah, once they're out and the door is closed, Alina's gonna be like, "That was amazing."
Yep.
She's gonna like give him a big hug because that was amazing, and they just cheated death in like 1,000 different ways. Oh my God, Ori, that was great.
Or he's like,
Is,
Yep.
Is the
Totally
room
planned.
resolved, or is that...
The room now on fire, you see the door beginning to glow hot, but there is a line of magical energy that goes straight through the door and straight out past the hallway into the wall. You would imagine going into that thing. You feel this wind by you. It feels like a ritual completing. You feel not just that room is done. This entire space has completed some greater purpose.
I start heading back towards the container room.
Destiny awaits.
Alina's
Be
like,
careful about the beans.
excuse me?
Beans?
Oh, the beans.
Beans.
The beans.
Not the
You said it like it makes more
the
sense.
beams of light,
The
right?
beans.
Beans?
Beans?
All beans.
You missed the bees part. So you make your way
Missed
back to this focusing chamber, this space designed like an octagonal prism. Now all of these arcane lines coalesce on this individual orb, and you can see this seal has been broken, and the orb is now thrown open and unlocked. You can see that the inscription, there is a disc of stone that is in the center of this kind of orb, and there is an arcane inscription that, for those of you who can read all languages, it is written in Common, Elvish, Celestial, Sylvan,
We
but
can all read all of those.
there's a number of words.
Can't read common, sorry.
Standing in front of this space, you can see a massive creature, unlike any that you've seen. Actually, if you could pull your minis off, let me get some.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
visual
all
perspective.
100 of
We're
our
about
minis.
to have a sweet ass conversation with this guy. I bet.
Yeah.
You know.
That's how this is going down.
Listen,
Prepare for combat. Have conversation.
prepare for combat. Oh, it's a
Combat
What's
conversation.
your Swedish guy's name?
Ole.
Yeah.
Combat conversation.
Conversation. Oh my god.
The voices speak.
And I'll need a little bit of space for this.
Oh, cool.
Little bit of space.
Now I'm just
Just a
picturing the exact same mini for just big res, but 10 times that. Just fucking placed in the middle of the fucking table.
Okay. Do we think it's a construct, or do we think it's a creature? Do you think it's a soul cannon?
I think construct is
All
a good
of the
call.
I think
But
it's
yeah,
a.
soul cannon.
I don't think it's a construct.
It's a Gundam.
Coming in on top. I love that. I wish I had a Gundam toy to bring out.
Oh, this is not what I expected.
Cool.
Alright, we'll get the battle cam on in a second, y'all. This is Spartan.
It's
Where are all the
very-
minis?
I hoarded
Oh
them.
damn! Look at the little
So you are all
the
like
lines
still
of
not in this
thread.
room yet. You're looking down the hall that goes to it. You are seeing this. You are seeing that cracked open. You are seeing who is Alina? I think you have the range to actually see the words themselves.
Or he does.
Even from this space.
Well, is it dark? Sorry.
Huh?
Is it dark in the room?
It is dark,
Or you can still see 90.
Yeah,
There
I got
you go.
120.
so you can see 90. You can see there are thousands of words inscribed on that. That is not just the ritual. That is an explanation for all of the events that have kind of led up to it. You are probably looking at the answers to many of the questions that many of you have been asking for much of the last several months.
Where do we
You're
see this?
On this
within
big.
within that little open sphere.
Oh, I see. Okay.
There's a stone disc at the bottom that has everything inscribed onto it, kind of at an angle that allows you to see parts of it. You can see the part that was written on the outside has been like thrown open, and standing off into the right side, you can see a huge creature. Purple, you can see these gigantic butterfly wings. It looks like a dragon, but very much like a fey variant of it. And you can see this guy.
He's beautiful.
Man, this looks like my place to head out.
You see glowing purple eyes. You can see all around this. on
Thanks
the
for getting me
ground.
out of the mirror.
There are elements of little toadstools and mushrooms, and in this space, almost instantly, as you look at it, you are looking at something that almost certainly was put here by Hearsome. At the moment, it doesn't seem to have noticed you, but it stands in a way that makes it look as if it guards this place. And you would imagine, in order to access this ritual, you will likely need to defeat it. You also see on this map, there are strings. These strings indicate where these lines of power radiate through the room. They go straight through the space at 5 feet tall, maybe 4 feet off the ground. And so if you pass through just walking normally, without doing anything to kind of like
Avoid.
avoid it, you imagine something will happen.
Are they all different colors still,
They
or are they all?
are. At the moment, they're kind of a multicolored string because you imagine they will shift and change, and sure enough, like they kind of go from green to blue to purple to yellow to red to orange, and then back again. But
So Alina's gonna turn to Hayla and be like, "You didn't sign up for this. Do you want to go home?"
I'm here for this.
Oh, all right. Well,
I was joking about the going home thing.
I was like, well, get your trident ready then, I guess.
I think you guys got me this far. I think I owe you as much to see this thing through. But if we live, I want to go home, like immediately after.
We will live.
Is that a fair shake?
Yeah,
A
I mean,
fair
if
deal?
we're not dead, if we don't live,
Yeah.
then whatever. Don't worry. Sir Nunos
Does
will
anyone
guide
know
us.
what this
Sir
thing
who?
is?
Oh,
I would like
You
to
haven't heard of
ask
Sir Nunos?
Billy for the
get ready.
messenger stone.
Is
this-
this like, no, we can save it. We can save it.
Oh,
so you turn to Billy, you ask for the
is this guy in
messenger
his
stone.
necklace?
The two of you kind of discuss whether or not the Triton should go home at this juncture,
And Sir Nunos.
and Sir Nunos as well. All of you kind of think about this. For you, Ori, you are wondering, what is this creature? You've never seen anything really like this before. All of these very good ideas, thoughts, and prospects to consider. Because it is 9:50, and because we are going over to things that involve Billy and other things, this is a great place for us to end for this week. We will pick back up next week, right here on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you can join us as we begin this engagement with the guardians of this. This is a very difficult encounter. You would imagine that should you defeat the guardians, should you survive this, you will level up. So come in next week knowing that this is a very challenging encounter. Remember that backup characters are a good thing just to be thinking about. But thank you for joining us this week. We'll be back next week. Please stay safe. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.